evening and welcome to April 4th, 1941. I'm Henry Chop, your host, and I will tell you what we have on the agenda tonight in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content on this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage old-time radio, films, and music that we feature, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to keep posting this wonderful content and seeking out more. We'd like to think that this channel is more interesting than any other nostalgia channel of a similar type. Help us keep going by donating. In the description section of this video, you will find a secure link to PayPal. Any little bit helps. Thank you for your support. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there, you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. My name is Henry Chop. I'm your host, and let me tell you what we have on the agenda tonight. Well, we are going to watch Chapter 13 out of 15 of The Green Hornet Strikes Again. That is a movie serial from around this time in 1941. So if you were a kid going to see a Roy Rogers picture or something of that kind, or maybe even one of those horror movies like we featured last Saturday, they might have shown, I don't know if they would have shown this at a horror movie, but for sure a Roy Rogers or a Red Ryder or maybe a festival of cartoons, you would have seen a movie serial as well. These things were to get you to go back to the movies next week to see what happened. They were kind of a soap opera on the screen for children. But these are fun. Whenever I feature a movie or whatever, I try to feature something that was shown in the theaters around this time. The movies, for sure, I go through the movie listings in the newspaper and see what was playing in the Chicago area. They might not have been on the same bill, but I do try to place movies that were playing in the Chicago area in the playlist. And we watch those right around the same date as the radio programs that we feature. But anyway, after The Green Hornet Strikes Again, Chapter 13, we are going to turn on the radio and listen to Vic and Sade, and that aired at 9:15 in the morning over NBC Red. Then we are moving up to 4:30 in the afternoon with The Lone Ranger and the Landgrabber's Loss. And then we have Mandrake the Magician and the Adventures of Superman. And then following all of that stuff, we move into prime time. And we have a good 90 minutes of consecutive shows in prime time, although we would be changing the dial quite a bit tonight for these programs. We're going to start things off at 7:30 in the evening. Now, all these times are Chicago time, not Eastern time. I live in the Chicago area, so I use the Chicago Tribune radio listings as my source. And by the way, not all of the programs aired in Chicago, by the way. In fact, Mandrake the Magician tonight did not air in Chicago. The Mandrake and Superman were syndicated programs. So anyway, at 7:30 in the evening, NBC Red, we have Information Please, and the guests on there tonight are foreign correspondent John Gunther and Lymon Bryson. And then at 8 o'clock, we are going to tune the dial over from NBC Red over to NBC Blue And boy, oh boy, the opening of this program will wake you up. So if you're listening to my program like many of you do, as you're falling asleep, you will wake up. Your alarm clock will be the opening of Gangbusters. That is probably easily the loudest opening in radio. And this Gangbusters episode is titled "The Case of the Missing Corpse." And then following Gangbusters, we're going to tune the dial over once again. We're going to go over to Mutual for I Want the Divorce. This is a dramatic series. I featured one of them before. It's interesting. It's kind of a morality drama, and this story is the story of an artist who marries a country girl, a farmer's daughter, and it is titled June and Perry. I think you will really enjoy this program. I wish I had more of this series as well. I featured another one back on, when was it? Ironically, Valentine's Day, right? So a great program there. Well, I have the sheet up on the wall, and I have the film threaded in the projector, and I also have the old tube radio. That's our time machine next to me. So we are going to first turn on the projector here, and let's watch The Green Hornet Strikes Again.
Somebody from the chief. What's this?
A couple of snoopers to be taken care of. Lock the door.
This is Grant Street. Where's the warehouse?
6 blocks down, on the left side of the street.
Hey, Dolan. Run this truck in the shed and bring in the red one. We'll load these cases of explosives.
Why don't you try doing some work yourself sometime?
Get going.
There'll be another box aboard that red truck. Go on, get over there, Irish.
You dirty mug. Turn the girl loose or I'll...
The girl will be taken care of.
Open up. It's the police.
The police.
Open up.
Both of you.
The Hornet.
Oh, if I only had my hands free.
Quick, get out of here.
You're not hurt, sir.
I'm all right.
Quick, this way.
Well, Michael, it looks like the Green Hornet did you a good turn last night down at the Grant Street warehouse.
Ah, sure, he was just trying to get on me good side so I'd lay off trying to run him down.
Boss, if I got a story.
What is it?
A new angle on the big fire last night.
You mean the one down at the Crawford warehouse?
Yeah, I went down to the Ruins trying to get a story from Crawford.
Any luck?
No, he wouldn't talk to me, but he talked to this guy plenty, his watchman.
Jasper Vale, sentenced for arson, paroled 6 months ago. You mean he was the watchman at the warehouse that burned?
That's right. I recognized him and dug his picture out of the morgue.
Paroled Officer Russell Spencer. Case. Get me Russell Spencer down at the parole office, please.
Yes, sir.
Lowry, I think you've got something here. Crawford has had 3 fires in the last 6 months. Just the length of time this fellow Vale's been out of the pen.
Mr. Reed calling Russell Spencer. Just a minute.
Yes, Case.
I have Mr. Spencer for you.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello, Mr. Spencer. This is Britt Reed of the Sentinel. I'm trying to locate a man by the name of Jasper Vale. Oh, he did. Thank you. He just left Spencer's office to go to Crawford's home. He's still working for Crawford.
Holy crow, we'll nab him at Crawford's house and bring him here.
Oh, wait a minute. You get over there, and when he leaves, trail him.
Okay.
Right.
This is Crawford talking. Listen, Colgan, I just had a call from Harrington, the adjuster. He says they're holding up payment of the claim.
That claim is airtight, Crawford. If you did what I told you to do, we have nothing to worry about.
They must have some reason for holding up the payment. They may have found something.
Listen, Crawford, your job is to collect that insurance. See that you do it. What's that? Of course we're going to pull off the job tonight.
Crawford will make more money on this deal than he ever made in his life, and he's squawking, eh?
He's afraid some of that merchandise may have been discovered. Huh. How could it be discovered? That stuff's on its way to Europe.
Those foreign agents sure work fast.
Sage, you have any trouble down there at the parole office?
For the sakes. I told Spencer I'm still working with Crawford. Looks like everything's here.
Yeah, it's all here, all ready to roll.
Gasoline, Excelsior, waste. Looks like it's all there.
Yep. It's all set. Now you better get going. The boys will have the warehouse almost cleaned out by the time you get there.
Hey, how's about a lantern? You know, I always work with a lantern.
Wait a minute. I've got one in there. See you down the warehouse.
Okay.
I'll lock up.
That's Vale in that truck. Where's he going? To some warehouse. But Dolan and that other crook, DeLuca, had that truck loaded with something, and I'm betting it's dynamite.
Come on, we better follow it.
the alibi?
We were chasing the truck. It's loaded with dynamite.
Yeah? Well, what are you loaded with?
Now, look, officer, my name is Axford. Michael Axford. I used to be on the force myself.
Well, well, well. That's a funny thing. I used to be in the pickle business. But that doesn't give me the right to run around in a vinegar barrel. Where's your license?
You believe that Crawford is a party to the conspiracy?
Undoubtedly. He fires an honest watchman to hire bail, a paroled convict. Then come a series of fires, covered by insurance on merchandise that have been removed previously from the warehouse.
If Axford and Lowry are right, those crooks are going to pull off something big tonight.
The Green Hornet's going to find out where Vale delivered that truckload of explosives.
Then we are riding
to Crawford's home, 1762 Oakdale. I think that gentleman can be induced to give the Green Hornet some valuable information.
This is Crawford. I don't think we ought to pull that thing off tonight.
Will you get this through your head, Crawford? Nobody will know you're connected with this deal. When we took over control of the Continental Warehouse, I had everything made out in Bourdain's name. You've got his bill of sale to you, haven't you?
Yes, I got it right here. But that isn't the thing.
Wait here.
All right, Krogan. I'll put this bill of sale in the safe tonight, then I'll see you.
Hold it, Crawford. I'll take that bill of sale.
Who are you and what do you want? Green Hornet.
Yes, the Green Hornet, Crawford. And you know I don't stand for any foolishness. Hand it over. So, Mr. Bourdain has taken over controlling interest in the Continental Warehouse and secretly given you a bill of sale.
What business is that of yours?
Plenty. I've got several things to settle with Mr. Bourdain.
What are you going to do with that?
Keep it.
What for?
For my information. I'm cutting myself in.
Cutting in? On what?
On your arson racket.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not mixed up in any arson racket.
That being the case, you won't mind my calling the police.
The police? What for?
Because you'll either cut me in or I'll expose your racket.
You wouldn't dare call the police. You're just as big a racketeer as any of us.
Then you admit you are a racketeer.
I don't admit anything.
It's up to you. Operator, get me the police.
Wait! Don't call the police. I'll cut you in.
Now you're talking sense. What warehouse is Vale firing tonight?
The one on Locust Street and Edge Hill Road.
That's all I wanted to know. Send the police quickly. 1762 Oakdale Avenue. It's the warehouse at Locust and Edgehill. Step on it, Cato. We may be too late now.
How soon will Vale be back?
As soon as he establishes an alibi.
I'd better take the flashlight. You stand by in case I signal.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's the last of it.
Good. Take it away, Jack. You fellas go with the truck.
That sure was a big job. 16 truckloads of stuff.
Yeah.
Guess we might as well get down to the car and beat it.
Yeah, wait a minute. What about Al?
He's inside. I'm leaving him here till Vale gets back. I want him to take a last look around and see that everything's all right.
I get it.
Warehouse ablaze, Locust Street and Edge Hill Road.
And now get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Crisco's Vic and Sade.
Golly, I hope all your entries are in the mail for Crisco's Double Cash Contest, because all entries must be postmarked by midnight tomorrow, April 5th. And don't forget, there's a top prize of $2,500. 25 prizes, each $100, and 100 prizes, each $10. 126 prizes in all. And this is important. You can double the amount of any prize you win. Yes, you can even double that big $2,500 prize to $5,000. Listen carefully now, and I'll tell you just how to do it. Submit your entries on official contest blanks, available only at your Crisco dealers. Or, if your dealer's out of those blanks, then here's another way to double any prize you win. Just write your entries on plain pieces of paper and get your dealer to sign his name and address to each entry. Remember, either way will double the amount of any prize you win. Now, to enter, you write the 5th line to a jingle you'll find on the official contest blanks. Here's how the first 4 lines go. For cakes, pies, and frying each day, most any wise housewife will say. For cakes, pies, and frying each day, most any wise housewife will say. Use Crisco, it's sure, so creamy and pure. Use Crisco, it's sure, so creamy and pure. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-dum-day. Now, that's where you write a 5th line, see? Something like this, perhaps. And your meals get a hearty okay. Just make sure your last line ends in a word rhyming with day. Well, that last line will come easy once you eat some of the delicious foods Crisco gives you. Bake a Crisco cake or have a Crisco pie or some Crisco fried foods for supper. Oh, you'll get ideas for last lines fast. And mail in every last line by tomorrow, sure, because each additional entry gives you another opportunity to win. Just remember, with each last line, mail your name, address, and a Crisco label, any size or facsimile. Address Vic and Sade, Cincinnati, Ohio. That's Vic and Sade, Cincinnati, Ohio. This contest is open to residents of the United States and Canada. Entries will be judged solely on originality, suitability, and aptness. Decision of the judges is final. In case of ties, duplicate prizes will be awarded. All winners will be notified by mail, and the name of the top prize winner will be announced on this program in a few weeks. That name may be yours if you get your entries in the mail on time, and they must be postmarked by midnight tomorrow, April 5th. Now, your Crisco dealer has official contest blanks with a jingle and complete rules. And remember, you can double any prize you win by submitting your entries on those official blanks, or by submitting your entries on plain pieces of paper and getting your Crisco dealer to sign his name and address to each entry. So see your Crisco dealer today, will you? Plan to win and double your winnings in Crisco's Double Cash Contest.
Also, Mr. Victor Gurk and his son, Mr. Rush Gurk, are in the kitchen seated at the supper table as we enter the small house halfway up the next block now. Mrs. Victor Gurk is not in evidence, and young Rush, who has just descended from above stairs, is saying,
"Where's Mom at?" "She stepped across the alley to borrow a chunk of butter from Ma Harris. If you hadn't been upstairs asleep, you could have gone." "I wasn't asleep. I was learning algebra definitions." "Your mother hollered." "I had my bedroom door closed. Never heard her." "Say, my brains get sharper every day, you know it?" "I memorized 3 definitions in 25 minutes flat. Closed my eyes, cudgeled my cerebrum, my cerebellum, and my medulla oblongata."
"Shall we not interfere with the raisin bread? We have a lady dining with us. In polite circles of society, half-wits do not help themselves to food until everyone's at the table."
"Who's the lady?"
"Mama."
"Oh."
"So quit flirting with the raisin bread till she returns."
"I'm starved."
"So am I. But I'm also a person of breeding. You're apparently a...
Hey, here's Mom. Greetings there.
Greetings. Haven't started to eat yet, have you?
No.
Good thing. We're going to eat supper at Miss Harris's.
What's this, Dr. Sleep?
It's Mr. Breep's birthday, and he gave Miss Harris money to cook up a big, special, fancy meal. Invited the other roomers to help eat it. Stuff happened so nobody could show up. We've been asked to come over. Miss Harris has got food by the bushel.
We got food by the bushel ourselves. In fact, it's right here in front of me in tantalizing array. I'm about to flourish my knife.
I said we'd be happy to accept the invitation. And she's got stylish eats. Big, grand, lovely steak. Mr. Croucher had to order special. Hot biscuits, Rush. Ice cream, too.
I've got a streak of fun in my makeup. You can notify Miss Harris. I'll only be too
Jump
pleased.
up, Mr. Vic. You got to make yourself presentable.
Presentable?
She's got the supper table set in the dining room. We're not going to come slouching in with baggy pants on and whiskers.
You're not suggesting that I shave?
Certainly am.
Who's going to be on deck besides Miss Harris?
Mr. Sludge.
I have to dress up for him? Well, holy smoke.
I said we'd be there in 10 minutes. Let's not have monstrous big discussions and trash. Willie, you got to doll up a little, too. Shinny out of that sweater and get a coat.
Hey, I don't need any shave. My face is smooth as velvet. My face
I told her 10 minutes. She's all ready to take the things off from the stove.
Inspect my face once. If you can locate any rough stubble of beard, I'll...
All right, leave your face slide. But you do have to change your trousers. You got shoes on?
I'm wearing the half-foot easy slippers Besson Waller sent me with the tassels hanging down the sides and the Indian head on the toes and the tin bills that loop around the back of my
It's awful
ankle.
sweet of you to take up valuable time telling me what your easy slippers look like, but not at all necessary. I appreciate what they look like. Probably I picked them up and set them in your clothes closet 46,000 different mornings. Will you wear shoes?
The poor lug gets all sat down to enjoy his evening meal. He's even got his knife and fork poised. The gastric juices have commenced to flow. His eye is bright and his heart is full. And just as he reaches for his first succulent morsel of food, it is snapped from him.
He's going to have extra fancy big thick steaks, the kind you're always asking me to buy, and the tasty trimmings that go along. It'll be a real treat. Miss Harris was lovely to invite us.
She just wants her stuff fed up.
Oh, my.
Well, she did ask us as a favor, didn't she? You said her lame-brained rumor brief give her money to dish up a Tony feed.
You really want to carry on a long conversation?
I want to get out of a lot of dressing and undressing and combing and washing and shaving.
Willie, walk upstairs and bring down your father's brown suit and his shoes. Skin out that sweater and slip on a coat. Let's see your shirt.
Got a spot on it, clean as a horse. I put it on.
All right, suit.
Is Miss Harris going to have them trick mashed potatoes where they look like greens of rice and
Your
your
suit. Vic, will you get up?
Feel my face.
What?
Feel my face. If your fingers come in contact with one single
You don't have to shave. I told you didn't have to shave. I haven't got time to shave. What I want you to do is help me here.
What suit of does did you say, Mom?
Help you what?
Help me clear away our own supper here. We can't go... Oh, what?
Did they bring down God's brown suit?
Yeah. We can't leave this
The
supper...
brown with the pinstripe or the brown with the...
Brown one with the pinstripe.
Okay.
And you just stand there.
As yet, Sadie, you haven't mentioned
We've got
what
to clear away our own supper.
Why?
Would you just leave it?
I suppose there are legal statutes by the bylaws of the state of Illinois which prohibit any such horrible procedure, but
Put
at
these
the same
knives and
time...
forks in the drawer. Stack up the plates. I'll be putting the meat back in the pan. You can have it tomorrow, and the potatoes, too. Take the raisin bread and put it in the bread box. I don't see why there needs to be such a commotion.
If you'll reflect 3 seconds, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I point out you're raising the commotion. I myself...
Only across the alley to eat a bite of supper. Is that any reason for enormous big fuss and feathers?
An innocent passerby happening to overhear our feverish...
Will you put the raisin bread back in the bread box? 10 minutes, I told her, Vic. 10 rotten, measly little minutes. We stand here letting them slide by.
Oh, let's not stand here. Let's go.
You'd waltz into Miss Harris's living room for an extra special company feed, huh? In easy slippers and baggy pants. Mr. Sludge is decked out like an electric light. Checkered afternoon trousers and little black coat with velvet lapels. Hurry along, will you?
I'm about to die of starvation.
Well, so is everybody. Let's step along brisk and do what we have to do. To doll yourself up presentable.
I took off my sweater and put on a coat like you said. I never changed
All
my
right, give your
shirt.
father his things. You can be helping me clear the table. You'll play ball, won't you?
Oh, gladly play ball.
Fine. Start piling up the plates, Willie.
Resembles a hollow mockery, don't it? To set the table for supper and then start to clear it off again without eating nothing?
Yeah, knives and forks go in the drawer.
What happened to Mr. Brief he can't put on the feed bag?
He's down to City Hall. Mr. Cameron's in trouble.
Yeah? What'd Mr. Cameron do?
Somebody accused him of stealing the brass ornaments out in front of the public library.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Brief's a real nice fella. He's down trying to get Mr. Cameron out of his fix.
Gee whiz.
Too bad all around. Mr. Brief's birthday, and he gives his landlady money to cook up a big fancy supper. And one of his fellow roomers gets in touch with the police. He feels like he ought to do what he can to help. Supper gets cooked and nobody to eat it. Hold the napkins nice, Willie. Skedaddle them back in their original creases.
Well.
How are you getting along?
Excellent.
You're just sitting there.
After one leans over to lace his shoes, one's head is filled with blood, and a certain dizziness ensues, which makes it advisable to sit quiet a few minutes and relax in order
You're
to...
just racing by, and I said we'd be right over.
I am a man, Sadie. I'm not an electric dynamo.
Please slip on your trousers. Pick up the olives and watermelon and pickles, son.
Okay. Mr. Cameron accused of swiping the public library's brass ornaments, huh? What was he supposed to have done with them?
Sold them to the junk man.
The master criminal, that guy.
He certainly ruined Mr. Brief's lovely birthday dinner.
Well, table's all unset.
I have on my trousers, Sadie.
Ready to trot?
I have yet to button my coat.
Well, let's be on our way. Oh, run another room and turn out the lights and see if the front door's locked. I think maybe you better
Telephone is good. Telephone is good.
It would be ringing.
Very possibly Bluetooth Johnson.
Well, see, and if it is, cut him off short.
Could conceivably be Rooster Davis.
Straighten your necktie, Vic.
I wouldn't put it past Leland Richards or Russell Duncan or Leroy Schultz.
Answer that.
My necktie is now straightened. My necktie is now straightened, and I'm very hungry.
Oh? Yes, I believe she is. 1 second.
Miss Denbottom?
No. It's a lady, but she spoke so rapid I was unable to identify.
One side.
I'm not too happy. I feel that hunger and fatigue have taken a heavy
Yes?
toll.
Oh, yes. Hey, I'll bet you wonder what on earth is keeping us. What, Miss Harris? Oh, really? Uh-huh. Why, how nice. How nice. Yes, indeed. Oh, us? Oh, not at all. Don't you fret about us, Miss Harris. No, sir, not at all. You go right ahead. Sure. I'll bet you do. Yes, I bet you do. All right, Miss Harris. All righty. Goodbye. Miss Harris.
Steak getting cold?
They let Mr. Cameron out of jail. Him and Mr. Brief just this minute got home.
Here, we going over?
No.
We can eat here?
Yes.
Our table's all unset.
Uh-huh.
Our supper's all been put back in the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Gov's got his clothes all changed.
Mm-hmm. Don't sit there staring at me, Vic. It's not my fault. I can't help it. Brush.
What?
We better start scaring up a bite to eat.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. And there we leave Crisco's Vic and Sade until Monday.
Remember, your entries for Crisco's Double Cash Contest must be postmarked by tomorrow midnight. You may still win that $2,500 grand prize or any one of 125 other cash prizes. So today, see your Crisco dealer for official blanks with complete rules and instructions on how to double any prize you win. And don't forget to listen to Crisco's Vic and Sade Monday. This is Mel Allen speaking.
With the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Whenever new territory was opened to settlers in the western United States, The Army was called on to preserve law and order among the thousands of emigrants that crowded the starting line. But away from the line and days before the starting gun, outlaws laid their plans to cheat the honest men and women who obeyed the laws. Only the daring and resourcefulness of the masked rider of the plains prevented their success. Only his strength and courage preserved the West as a land of equal opportunity. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver! We're heading for the Comanche territory. Canada's waiting for us. Hi-yo, Silver, A solitary rider galloped his horse down the straggling main street of Two Gun, slapping his mount with a leather quirt and firing his 6-gun into the air.
Yippee! Hey up, you hombres!
The horses tied in front of the Pinto Cafe reared and snorted as the rider yanked his mount to a stop. He hit the ground and slammed across the porch and through the swinging door.
Hey, you wildcat, close up your mouth and look here. I got news. Yippee!
On your own way, Hat Carson. Watch where you're shooting. That bear sent me back plenty of cash.
Hang your mirror. I tell you, I got news. The government's going to open the Comanche territory. Yeah, I tell you it's true as I'm standing here. The government bought the land from the Comanche Indians, paid cash for it. Going to be open to settlers.
When's it going to be, Carson?
Say, that's mighty rich country. Prime land. Give me a chance, you fellas. Sure, it's good land. Good for grazing cattle, good for farmland. And as some say, there's plenty of gold there, too. Don't know just when folks will be able to go in and stake out land for themselves, but it's...
You don't know. Shucks, Carson, sounds like you're shooting off your mouth.
I tell you, it's gospel.
Yeah, well, there's been talk before about opening the Comanche territory to settlers. Yeah. This sounds like more of the same. What proof you got?
Plenty proof, Barber. The government man's right here in town.
Carson, you're certain?
Sure is shooting. I hightailed into Two Gun just to jump on a spraddle ahead of him. He's outside the general store right now, giving out the details.
Well, Clifton Mavericks, why didn't you say so?
Well, you didn't give me the change.
Lazarus, Lefty, close up the cafe. Ain't no time for trade. Come on, gents, let's get going. I want to hear what this government man's got to say.
Come on, fellas, come on. That's him, the government agent.
The government is opening the Comanche territory to settlers. You know the system for working a matter of this sort.
Me and Molly are going to get us a claim.
Shut up and
listen. All those going into the territory will start is 5 miles west of Two Gun. An army company will patrol the territory to see that no one enters ahead of time. Anyone trying to sneak in and stake out land before the regular time will be arrested. At dawn, on the designated day, a gun will be fired. That will be the signal to cross the line and stake out claims. Stay on your claim until the government officials come along and register it in your name. That's all.
Hey, mister.
Yes?
Just one thing. You left out the most important point. When's the day?
Yeah, when can folks head into the territory?
The gun will be fired at dawn on the 23rd.
23rd? Well, that's Saturday. I got to get the news tomorrow.
Hey, Carson.
Hey, let go of me, Barbara. I'm in an all-fired
hold your horses a second, will you?
Well?
You know plenty about that Comanche territory, don't you? You've been all through it.
Supposing I have. What about it?
Got your spot all picked out, ain't you?
Maybe so, Barbara. Not that it's your affair.
No, just inquired.
Well, no harm in talking. I reckon ain't nobody can beat me to the land I want anyways. Barbara, once that gun goes off, I'll head straight for the head of the valley, where the river starts. It's...
Yeah?
Oh, no, never mind. I'm always doing too much talking.
The head of the valley, eh? Well, seeing as you got the fastest horse in these here parts, I don't reckon anybody can beat you there.
You're right about that. My horse, Blizzard, is the fastest four-legged critter this side of the Pecos. Well, anyways, the less said, the better. Adios, Barbara.
Adios, Carson. Adios. The head of the valley.
Howdy, boss. Can I open the cafe now for business?
Yeah, Lefty, open it. No, wait.
Huh? Got something on your mind?
Yeah. Water.
I don't savvy.
Carson done some talking, Lefty. He got it all figured to get some mighty good land in that territory.
Ain't nobody going to stop him, boss. He's got the fastest horse there is.
I'm going to stop him, Lefty.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to stop him. I want that land, Savvy. It'll give me control of the water, control of the whole territory. We're going to get that land, Lefty. Fast horse or no fast horse.
Keno. Maybe Carson ought to meet with the accident, huh?
Yeah. A serious accident, Lefty. Maybe he might step in the way of a bullet. Yeah, better get moving right now.
Yeah, Barber. He won't bother you none. I know a shortcut.
Poor Carson, always shooting off his mouth. Well, when Lefty meets him on the trail and pulls trigger, Carson won't do no more talking. He'll be food for the birds. Hey, you. You, Agent. What you hanging around for?
Oh, me do nothing.
You've been listening to me and Lefty?
Huh?
Never mind. Is that your horse? Then vamoose, Injun. Straddle that paint and make tracks. Get out pronto, Savvy.
Me go. Me go.
Yeah, don't come back, Injun. Keep right on traveling.
Come up, Scout. Him plenty bad hombre. We go tell Lone Ranger. Get him up, Scout.
Yeah, Blizzard, old horse. We're going to get the best slice of land you ever seen. A Molly, Blizzard. The water and pasture land. Huh?
Carson, look out!
Well, I'll be dogged. Sounds like that fella's hailing me. Got an engine with him. Say, Blizzard, that's sure some horse he's riding. That white horse might even give you a run for your money. Slow up, boy. We'll see what they want.
Carson, don't slow down. Go faster.
What in thunder? Mister, you're mad.
Carson, get moving. That cliff beside the trail makes the perfect spot for an ambush. On your way.
Now, hold on, mister.
There's no time for talk. Grab his reins, Tonto. You go fast.
What in thunder you think you're doing?
Carson, get away from the cliff.
You're talking about an ambush. Mister, that don't make sense.
Him shoot.
Hey, there's some hombre on the cliff shooting at us.
I'll keep him busy. Keep riding.
No sneaking polecat can shoot at me without a fight. Let go of them reins, Injuns. I'm heading back.
No, you loco. You can't get back, Carson. There's no way to climb that cliff. Get out of range.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, masked man.
We're out of range now, Carson.
Mister, I'm sure obliged. I'd have been done for if you hadn't warned me. What's it all about?
Keep riding, Carson. We'll explain when we get to your home. Keep riding.
Come on, Blizzard. Get him up, Scout.
That's it, Silver. We'll talk later.
Carson, you mean to say you was ambushed on account of the government's opening up the Comanche territory?
Come mighty nigh getting shot.
If it hadn't been for this masked man and the engine warning you,
I wouldn't be here now. I'd be lying in the trail with a mouthful of dust and not knowing the difference.
Well, why didn't you go after the varmint? There's three of you.
I can explain that, Mrs. Carson. There was no way to get up that cliff without taking the long way around. The man up there would have been gone long before we got there.
Not true.
Yeah, but who was it?
I didn't get a close look, Molly. I don't know.
I don't savvy why anyone should want... Hank Carson.
Yeah?
You always was the one for talking. Did you let anything slip in town about the spot we got picked out to claim in the territory?
Why,
Did you?
I reckon so, Molly. Oh, you know me. Can't keep my mouth shut.
I might have guessed. Well, it's plain as the nose on your face, Hank Carson. The man you talked to is the one that tried to ambush you.
No, it couldn't be Barbara.
Barbara, huh?
Now, Molly, Barbara runs a cafe. He's a real nice
Real
kid.
nice. Barbara's a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake that don't even give warning before he strikes. I tell you, Hank, if Barbara knows where you're going to stake a claim, we're going to have plenty more trouble before we stake out that land. Plenty.
No, we ain't. First off, I ain't convinced it was Barbara. We didn't see the gent up on the cliff. I can't go to town and accuse Barbara for that, can
Well, I reckon not, but
Besides, I got Blizzard, ain't I? He's the fastest horse west of the Pecos, ain't he? There ain't nothing going to stop us getting that land. Nothing. Ain't it so, Masked Man?
Masked Man, you tell Hank he's plumb loco, putting all his trust in... Well, Hank, he ain't here.
Huh?
The Masked Man in the engine.
Well, I'll be dogged.
He must have slipped out when we were talking.
Shucks, and I didn't even have time to thank them proper. Well, anyways, I don't reckon I need the help no more. There ain't nothing else going to happen. I'm certain of it.
I wish I could say the same, Hank.
Huh?
I just got a feeling. A feeling that them skunks that tried to get you ain't giving up, whoever they are. I got a feeling that maybe they're planning more mischief right this minute. Hank, I don't like it one bit.
So you missed, huh? You was all sitting the cliff beside the trail when Carson combined, you missed.
Barbara, I tell you that...
You could have at least put a bullet into that horse of his.
I tell you, I didn't have the chance. The masked man of the engine warned him too soon.
What masked man?
I don't know. They sure enough warned Carson. I started pouring lead, but they was out of range in no time. I was plenty busy ducking bullets, too.
You don't savvy. How could a masked hombre know what her plans were?
He sent bullets so close to me I could hear him buzz.
Wait a minute. Did you say you had an engine with him?
Yeah.
Riding a paint horse?
You know him?
The very same. I should have figured that engine was grabbing himself near, fool.
Huh?
You must have heard every word you and me smoked, Lefty.
You mean when you told me to take the shortcut and drag out Carson?
Yeah. Pards with a masked hombre, huh? Now, who in
Masked
place...
gent rode a white horse, Barber.
Where would a masked outlaw want to butt in on a drag horse for? Masked man on an engine. You don't savvy.
Masked hombre called his horse Silver.
Engine riding the paint and... Lefty, say that again.
Huh?
What you said, the name of that horse. Did you say Silver?
Yeah, I heard him call his horse that. Silver. Say, what's eating you, Barber?
Lefty, that there was the Lone Ranger.
The Lone?
Where do you think you're going?
The Lone Ranger? Let go me, Barber. I'm making tracks. I don't care to stack up against that hombre.
You ain't going nowhere, Lefty. Except to tell the boys I want them.
You're going through with it?
Yeah, Lone Ranger or no Lone Ranger. Get the boys. And savvy this.
Yeah?
Instead of meeting me here in the back room of the cafe, tell them to meet me out near Boot Hill outside of town.
Huh? In the dark?
Yeah. I want to make certain that masked hombre don't hear what I'm planning. Now get.
There, Batman, Kemosabe.
Yes, Tonto, at the top of the hill. Quiet, Silver. You'll stay here with Scout, old boy.
We stay close to ground, huh?
Creep forward, Tonto. We'll crawl toward them softly.
Plenty dark.
Barber has his whole gang up there. Notice all those figures against the sky. The Comanche territory will be open at dawn tomorrow. We've got to learn how Barber plans to get the jump on Carson. We're getting closer now.
Men talk plenty quiet.
We'll have to get closer. Right beside me. If Barber's as smart as he's crooked, he'll have guards posted all around.
Me not see guard.
Keep watching as we move forward. Can you hear what they're talking about yet?
Not him. Too far.
Then wait. Careful, Tonto. That looks like...
What in blazes in guard?
Quick, before he spreads a warning.
Barber! It's a masked man now!
You knock him down. Too late, Kemosabe. He roused the others. Quick, Tonto, back to the horses.
After his masked man! Get your horses!
Here, Silver.
Get him up, Scout. Turn the guard! Come on! I'll take a shot.
How are you chasing the Barber? We'll never catch him.
Yeah, Lefty's right. No use wasting our horses trying to grab them, too. Besides, we need our horses for riding. Plenty of riding. It's sure a good thing the Lone Ranger didn't get close enough to hear us scream. Now he'll never stop us.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. At the edge of the Comanche territory, a crowd milled through the night, waiting for dawn and the gun that would send them pouring across the line to claim new land. Horses, wagons, every type of conveyance added to the confusion. It was impossible for the Lone Ranger and Tonto to locate any of Barber's men, and...
Look at the campfires, Tonto. There must be more than 1,000 people here, all waiting to get new land. We could look all night and find no trace of Barber in this crowd.
Him got scheme.
We only have about 6 hours before the starting gun is fired, Tonto. That means we've got to learn what Barber's plan is before then.
How we find out?
And just keep your eyes open, Kemosabe. Just keep watching.
And 20 miles away, at the other end of the long starting line...
No sign of the masked gent, Barber.
Keep back from them campfires, all you.
My jaw still feels like a mule kicked it, Barber.
Shut up and keep close.
Come far enough, Barber.
Yeah, I reckon so. Pull up. Do there. Steady. You know what you're to do, Lefty?
Still goes?
We ain't changing plans. Why should we?
Well, the masked gent. Maybe he heard.
If he heard, we'd be corralled by this time. Now, you're going to Carson's place, Sally?
Yeah. I'll wear a bandana so he don't know who I am.
You're right. Tie him up, understand? Tie him up good and tight. And the same for his wife. And then skedaddle.
Yeah.
And as for that horse of his, let it out of the corral. Let it run.
No need for that. I'll tie him up so tight they won't get loose for a week.
Yet I ain't taking no risks. You'll leave him as soon as you tie him up, ain't you? Supposing Carson gets loose. Supposing he gets his horse and rides me up before the starting gun.
That still gives us 4 hours head start, Barber. That ought to be ample for us to reach that land.
Nobody asked you, Wally. Yeah, but nothing. Head start or no head start, I'm making sure, Savvy. All right, Lefty. Slip that kerchief up on your face and get moving.
On my way. Get up, horse.
Hey, you gents follow me. We're crossing the line. Hey, Sid, we're crossing the line.
Sure, Barber, sure. But we all hear the government, man. We step across that line ahead of dawn, and there's a whole regiment of cavalry waiting to slap us in the caliber.
Well, Comanche territory is plenty big, Wally. You got a mighty slim chance of catching us.
Well, long as it's dark, maybe. But come sun up.
Sun up, we'll be 4 hours travel in from the line, way past the soldiers.
It's a gamble.
It's a sure thing. Besides, with 4 hours start, we'll get to that land ahead of anybody. We'll do it easy. Then, when the government man comes around, why, we tell him, sure, we left at dawn. Started right with the crack of the gun. He won't know the difference. Come on, gents, follow me. Now, easy. Take it easy. We're jumping the gun and slipping right past the soldiers. It's going to be a cinch as long as Lefty takes care of Carson. A plumb line cinch.
Molly, let me have another cup of coffee.
Hank, don't you reckon you ought to rest?
No, too doggone excited. Besides, it's only about 3 hours to dawn. Take me half an hour to ride from here to the starting line. Ain't no use trying to sleep for about 3 hours, is there? Oh, Molly, I tell you, it's the prettiest land you ever did see. Rolling, rich, plenty of water. Hey.
What's that?
Well, it sounds like Blizzard, my horse. He's in the corral. At least the way he ought to be.
Hank, was that...
Blizzard, he's got loose. He's heading for the open range.
That horse is half wild.
I gotta catch him. He's the only fast horse I got. I got to.
You ain't going nowhere, Carson.
What in thunder you do?
Hank!
Get that rope and tie him up. We'll both be hog-tied and rope-tied on the yearling colt. And there ain't nobody going to get you loose.
This way to Carson Ranch, Kemosabe.
The faster, Tonto. The sooner we get there, the better.
Look, horse come this way.
Oh, Silver, steady, boy. Something's wrong, Tonto. It doesn't sound like a horse with a rider.
Huh?
Listen. It sounds almost like a runaway.
Him come by us.
Tonto, that's Carson's horse.
That's right.
Running wild. No saddle, he's loose.
Where you go?
Head for Carson's ranch, Kemosabe. Get there fast. Come on, Silver.
Where you go?
Silver and I'll capture Carson's horse. Get to the ranch. As soon as we rope the horse, we'll get back. Hi-yo, Silver,
It took the Lone Ranger only a few moments to rope the runaway. Then, leading the horse, he headed for the Carson ranch. Tonto had already untied Carson and his wife, and when the Lone Ranger heard what had happened, he...
There's your horse, Carson. We're riding for the starting line.
Hank, do you feel all right?
Oh, sure, honey. Just got a bump on the head. Here, Blizzard.
And he got him on halter. Him not run away.
That yellow sneaking coyote of a barber.
Barber went through the lines ahead of time. Once we tell the commanding officer that, you may have a chance, Carson.
Then what are we waiting for? Now, let's go.
Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
We'll find the commanding officer at the starting line. Let me do the talking.
Hey, what's that? You say this man Barber sneaked through the line ahead of time?
He's got a 4-hour head start, Colonel.
He'll be captured. The regiment's on patrol duty to make sure no one goes into the Comanche territory before dawn.
But suppose he isn't captured. Suppose he got away.
Eh? Well, in that case, I'm sorry.
Sorry? But, Colonel,
Dawn, when the starting gun is fired, I can furnish you with men to ride after Barber. That's the only way. It's necessary to have proof.
Proof? But, Colonel, Barber will have a 4-hour lead. Let us go ahead now to head him off.
Impossible. Just because one man beats the gun. And mind you, I can't be certain of that just on your say-so. Because one man beats it, I can't permit others to do so, can I? Besides, there's plenty more land.
Not like the section I got my mind on.
Sorry, I can't help you anymore. You will have to wait for the starting gun at dawn. That's final.
ring.
I come over to see you start. Hank, are the soldiers going with you?
Yeah, much good it'll do. Barbara's already 4 hours in the Comanche land.
Carson, on your horse. There's the warning bugle.
Gun go off quick.
Mister, we gotta catch Barbara. We got to. I'm praying Blizzard is the horse I think he is.
How far is it to your section?
Maybe 15 miles, but it's bad country for traveling. Takes plenty of time.
Hank, even Blizzard can't make it.
I ain't giving up, Molly.
That's the spirit, Carson. We'll ride with you. You soldiers stay with us.
Get ready to start. The gun will go off in 10 seconds.
Oh, look. Many people, huh?
Yes, Kimasabi. All lined up, ready to move.
All ready.
Come on, here we go. Come on, Blizzard.
Come on, Silver. The long line surged forward. Shouting, yelling men urged their horses on. Wagons crashed and jammed in the fight to get land, to take over the Comanche territory. Thundering hoofs and rolling wagon wheels, clouds of dust. And speaking out in front of all the rest, with Tonto and Carson and the 2 soldiers behind him, the Lone Ranger and the great horse Silver.
Hello, Silver, away!
One hour later, deep in Comanche territory.
Carson, can't the horse go any faster?
Mister, I figured Blizzard could beat anything on 4 legs. But there ain't no horse can keep up with Silver.
Soldiers, drop behind.
I don't know what to do. There ain't a chance of beating Barbara unless we make better time. Not a chance.
Shadow, can Scout keep up with Silver? Maybe for a while, Kimasabi. Good. Carson, listen. Shadow and I'll ride ahead.
What?
You've told me where that land is. You bring the soldiers as fast as you can. We'll try to reach that land before Barbara.
I don't savvy, mister. You'll never make it.
We can try. Adios.
When you hit the river, head upstream. The ravine narrows out into a flat tableland. That's the spot.
Stay with me, Tonto. All right, Silver. Get up, Scout.
Come on, you soldiers. Adios, fast man. Adios. Good luck. Watch out for the quicksand.
Barbara's on the way. We've got to get there first. Faster, Silver, old boy. Faster.
Ain't there no other way to get there? My horse is mud clear up to the withers.
I've never seen such tough country for traveling. Come on, you're on very high. Get up there.
We've been traveling since before dawn and getting no place.
We covered plenty of miles.
This here marsh is worse than the quicksand was. Get moving, horse.
What are you beefing about? We got a good lead, ain't we? Carson must be miles behind.
Yeah, but maybe the mask on me.
Lone Ranger?
He's been helping Carson. Maybe
He can't help Carson out anymore, Wally. As soon as we get to the river, we head upstream and... What in places?
Barbara, look yonder.
That white horse.
The masked man, the Indian. They're riding like a stampede.
They're heading for the river. We gotta beat them. Use your whips. Make these cayuses travel.
They get there.
I won't get there first. They'll beat them if we have to shoot them down to do it. Loosen your 6 guns. Way they're heading, you get right close to them near the finish. Drive your horses. Right till they drop. We gotta beat the Lone Ranger.
There it is, Tonto, right up ahead. There, Barbara. The ravine's getting narrow. We're pulling ahead of them. Faster. Up the slope. Climb, Silver. Up. Go. Now, behind that rock and pull up. Good. We get here first. That's far enough, Barbara. This land is plain. They got guns. Most of those guns, Barbara. It's too late.
All right, Tonto, they're asking for us. We'll hold them off until Carson and the soldiers get here.
They're 5 against 2.
Reach for your guns, Tonto. We'll hold them off no matter what the odds. If they want shooting, they'll get it.
Go on that branch, man. He moves like lightning.
He shot the gun right out of my hand.
Pick it up and fight.
Not me. I had a plenty.
All right, Barbara. Stop that gun. Stop it right
No, don't shoot, mister. Don't shoot. You got us.
Tonto, what's the others? That was good shooting.
I never seen such shooting in my life.
You stand still.
Ready out to mass man.
It's Carson. He's got soldiers with him.
Mister, you done it. You saved my land from these stinking skunks. I don't have it.
Silver Scout brought us here in time, Carson. The land's yours. You'll take care of these prisoners?
Sure will. The soldiers got him under guard right now.
And we'll go. Come on, Tonto.
Carson, if it hadn't been for that hombre, would have grabbed off your land.
You land grabbers will get jailed for this, Papa. And say, when Molly hears how the masked man helped us...
What's in your mare? You got us, ain't you?
Yeah, but the masked man, he's riding off. I didn't even get the chance to figure who he might be. And that horse he's got, faster than Blizzard ever was.
You mean to say you don't know who that is? Carson, I figure I'm plenty loco for trying to tangle with that hombre. I should have known better. Right, Carson, that there's the Lone Ranger.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
Jump, Tommy. Jump, Lothar. Tommy. Lothar. Are you hurt?
Lothar not hurt, Master. Lothar try and find Tommy. Hey, Tommy!
I'm all right, Lothar. Just trying to get myself untangled from these bushes.
Oh, here. Let Lothar help you.
Gosh, Lothar, I can walk.
Here. Master, you look at Tommy. Make sure him got all bones where it belongs.
How about it, Tommy? You sure you're all right?
Oh, gosh, yes. I landed in the bushes away over there. Gee, Mandrake, how did I manage to jump that far?
Oh, you can do amazing things sometimes, Tommy, when your life is at stake.
I'd like to measure that jump.
Lothar afraid Tommy hurt. Him jump so far.
Yeah, but I'm not hurt. You can put me down now, Lothar.
Lothar, put Tommy down.
Yes, Master. There, Tommy.
Thank you, Lothar.
That truck didn't stop to see how much damage he'd done. Probably thinks he's killed all three of us. Nice gang we're dealing with.
Hey, look, Mr. Mandrake. There's a house over there. The lights just went on. Say, look, I'm in pretty good shape. Shall I run across and see if they got a car to take us into town?
Good idea, Tommy. And see if they've got a telephone, too. We'll stay here. Might get a chance to thumb a ride.
Yes, sir. Gee, Mandrake, I bet I jumped 20 feet. Yeah, I bet it was more than 20 feet.
I think Tommy must have jumped at least 30 feet, don't you, Lothar?
Master, no. Lothar tossed Tommy out before Lothar jumped.
Yes, I know you did. And I was afraid that you'd broken the boy's neck.
Lothar afraid, too. Lothar never know him own strength.
Now, Lothar, just remember that Tommy Turk's all man, not a sissy baby. Don't try to mother him.
Tommy not got mother.
You've got a grandmother.
Not same thing.
Now, all right, but if you want Tommy to like you, treat him with dignity. Here he comes back on the run.
I see that fellow back there, an old crab. Didn't even want to open the door.
No luck?
No, sir. No phone, no car. Just a door slammed in my face.
Too bad.
Well, it's not so bad. There's an all-night road stand up a ways, about a mile toward town. You can phone from there, Mr. Mandrake.
Fine. I can phone Nada at least and explain why we've been detained.
Yeah, and we can eat, too. Gosh, eat.
Oh, Tommy lead way. Lothar hungry, too, Tommy.
Hello?
Hello, Nada.
Mandrake, is it really you this time?
This time?
I was so upset when I'd heard you'd been in an accident.
Who told you I'd been in an accident?
Why, Mr. Slade.
Who is Mr. Slade?
He said he was from the Army Intelligence Division.
Oh, he did,
Yes, he said he wanted to question me. He was particularly interested in that red book you gave me for safekeeping.
Yes, I'll bet he is.
I wish you'd tell me what's happened.
We were run down by a big van. Car smashed to bits. I think that fellow called High Pitch was driving.
You weren't hurt?
No, we all jumped in time to save our skins. But it was a deliberate attempt to kill us all, Nada.
But how did this Mr. Slade hear of your accident so soon?
From High Pitch, of course. Nobody else knows we've been in an accident.
Then Slade can't be an agent of the Army Intelligence.
No, of course not. This gang moves fast, Nada. Did you tell Slade you had that red book?
Well, yes, I'm expecting him any moment now.
That book's vital to them, Nada. Or they wouldn't attempt to murder me and impersonate a Secret Service officer to get their hands on it.
How long before you can get here?
Oh, a half hour or more, I should say.
A half hour?
Yes, I'm at a wayside stand outside of town.
Shall I call the police?
No, don't do that, Nada. I doubt if we could make any charge stick against Slade. We'd only put him on his guard and learn nothing. Are you alone?
Yes.
I don't like to see you run any more risks, Nada, after what you've been through.
I'm not in the least bit afraid.
They're beginning to show themselves, Nada. So when you see Slade, pretend to be taken in by him and hold him until I get there.
Then you'll follow him?
Exactly. Either High Pitch or Slade will lead us to the man higher up if we don't frighten them off.
He's at the door now, Mandrake.
Don't let that red book out of your hands, Nada. And keep Slade there until I call you from downstairs.
I'll do the best I can. One moment, please, if it's Mr. Slade.
It is. Take your time, please.
Sure. We got all night.
Shut up, High Pitch. Now remember, this Nada is no fool. You're to convince her that I'm on the level.
Yeah, smooth stuff. Why don't you let me knock her off like I done them other three? Then grab that little red leather book and beat it.
Because we can't afford to leave a trail of murder behind us. This isn't a lonely road, you fool. This is a hotel room.
Okay, it's your show. But I don't like the feel of these handcuffs, even in fun.
Careful now. Act like you're scared.
Sure.
Mr. Slade, Oh, you're not alone.
No, but you needn't be afraid of High Pitch. I've got him handcuffed to my left hand.
Oh, what are you bringing me up here for? She don't know me.
I'm not so sure of that. I'm sorry to inflict this murderous scoundrel on you, Miss Nada, but I thought you might identify her.
Please, come in.
Thank you. Take off your hat, High Pitch. You've got another hand.
Yeah.
Slade, Army Intelligence Division. My badge. Want to see any further credentials?
Why, no.
I'll make it short. We've been watching this section for months, looking for a secret submarine base on the coast.
Not really. We had no idea.
Well, the government doesn't advertise, but it's awake. Now, can you identify this man?
Yes. Earlier tonight, he was watching us from a window through at a shack out on...
All right. She's seen me. So what? I told you she could tell you all about that red book you wanted. But I ain't done nothing. Give me a break.
How did you catch this man, Mr. Slade?
We picked High Pitch up tonight for speeding. Grilled him. Found out he was a hit-and-run driver.
I told you I didn't see the other car until, bang, I hit it. Then I got scared.
I've sent a car out to locate the scene of the accident and find out how badly Mandrake
How
has
did you
been...
know Mandrake was in the car?
High Pitch here, you know. That's what made me suspicious it wasn't as much of an accident as he pretended. Now, he may be a murderer. That's why you see him handcuffed to my left hand.
But he isn't. Mandrake just...
Oh, you've, heard from Mandrake?
Yes, he was phoning from out of town when you knocked.
He wasn't hurt?
No. Some miracle, they all jumped in time. Mandrake, Tommy, and Lothar. And this man ran them down.
Oh, that's a relief, Miss Nada. I hope you told Mandrake about my phoning you.
I did, but...
Good. Then he'll understand how vital it is for you to leave with me at once.
Leave with you?
I've ordered a car. Now, it's only a few hours' drive to where I'll take you.
Suppose I just gave you the red book.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't touch it. I want you to tell your story to the chief and put that book in his hands yourself.
Wouldn't tomorrow do just as well?
Well, it might. And there might be information in that book that would prevent an ammunition plant from being blown up within the next 12 hours.
But, You...
Well, I see that a night's sleep is more important than your duty to your contract. I'll call you tomorrow morning.
No, I'll go with you now.
Good. I'll turn my prisoner over to the local police and meet you downstairs in 5 minutes. Come on, High Pitch.
Get this handcuff off my wrist, will you? It gives me goose pimples.
You ought to have them on both wrists for bungling. There you are.
You ain't in the clear yet. If Mandrake shows up...
Does Mandrake know you?
No, the girl's the only one who spotted me at the window out at the shack.
Good. You stay here long enough to get a line on what Mandrake does. Then get out of town with your truck and meet me in New York.
Okay.
Tired, Tommy?
Oh, not me, Mr. Mandrake.
Tommy, stout fellow.
Yes, sir. Well, this is certainly a deserted village at this time of night.
There's a hotel ahead where the light is.
Car out in front. Somebody else still awake besides us.
I'll race you to the car, Lothar. Last one there's a sissy baby.
Lothar gonna be sissy baby. Him not run.
There's a man and girl coming out of the hotel. I don't know the man, but the girl... Did you see her face as she passed under that street lamp, Lothar? I'd swear it was Nada.
Yes, that's Nada, master.
The man's helping her into the car.
Tommy, see her? Him running for
Come
car.
on, come on. He's trying to hold the man, Lothar.
The man shoved him away and Tommy fought. Oh, Lothar fix. Look at Tommy, master.
He picked himself up and dove for the rear bumper. And he made it, too.
Oh, we're too late, master. They're both gone.
Yes, both gone. Nada inside and Tommy outside, hanging to the car bumper. I hope they're not taking their last ride, Lothar.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, star reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice. Like a phantom vessel, the Clara M, last of the old clipper ships, moves southward toward Panama through a shroud of gray and swirling fog. Aboard her, encountering many mysterious adventures, are Clark Kent and young Jimmy Olsen. Greatest of mysteries has been that of the Whistler, a sailor who many years ago was washed overboard in a storm, and who is said to return to the Clara M at night, walking her decks whistling. But in our last episode, Jimmy Olsen discovered the Whistler to be a boy of his own age, who has been a stowaway on the clipper ship. A fight ensued between the stowaway and Jimmy, a fight which ended in both boys falling overboard, locked in each other's arms. Supporting the unconscious boy, Jimmy tried valiantly to swim to the Clara M, but without success. Slowly, the red and green riding lights of the ship slipped into the thick fog and were gone. Meanwhile, aboard the clipper, Clark Kent and Peg-Leg Teak Barnaby are walking the wet deck. Listen.
Strange, Barnaby. Very strange. I was so sure I heard a cry for help coming to us out of the fog.
Well, fog's a peculiar something, Mr. Kent. Makes you hear things that ain't there. Now come away from that rail and stop staring off into the soup. There's nothing you heard but your imagination.
Jimmy ought to be on deck by this time. He went below to get a flashlight. We better get up toward the forward companionway. I said I'd meet him there.
Well, there's the forward companionway just ahead, Mr. Kent. You can just make out the light from the doorway shining yellow in the fog.
Yes. Fog seems to be getting worse, Barnaby. Can't see a hand 2 feet in front of you.
Eh? I've sailed the seas a lifetime, Mr. Kent. And I've yet to see it thicker than this. Fit to slice it in. Well, here's the forward companionway, and no sign of a line.
No. Barnaby, you go on with the search for the Whistler. I'm going down to Jimmy's cabin.
Right, you are, Mr. Kent. We'll run into each other again somewhere around the deck.
Right.
See you later.
Here's Jimmy's room. Huh. Door's open and the oil lamp is lit. Jimmy's not here. Oh, funny he wasn't... Wait a minute, what's this? Chair knocked over? Package of bicarbonate of soda spilled all over the floor? Hello, what in the world? Why, there's another room next to Jimmy's. More a closet than a room. Sliding panel. What's this lying on the floor? Something wrapped in a large piece of oiled silk. No time to examine it. Something's happened to Jimmy, I'm sure of it now. And that cry for help coming through the fog astern of the Clara M. Of course.
This is a job for Superman. Gotta get on deck. I've got to get there fast. Now then, Jimmy's out there somewhere. He either fell or was thrown overboard. That was his cry for help, I heard. Well, fog or no fog, I'll find him. Up, up, and away!
Gotta make it. Got to. Can't. No, I can't. I can just see a foghorn of Clara M. Must be a mile away. This fella's heavy. He's coming too. What? Take it easy. Stay on your back in the water. I've got my hand under your chin. You can't sink so long as I keep afloat. You're trying to save me. Trying to save us both. You'll never make it. Not with me, you won't. Just let me go. Shut up. I ain't afraid. Honest, I ain't. It'll be over quick. Shut up. I can't swim. There's a boat going down. We won't. Oh, my arms getting tired. Can hardly lift them. We're going under. Going under.
Even with my eyes, it's hard to pierce this fog. Don't see a thing on the water. Not a sign of Jimmy. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I only thought I heard that cry for help. And Jimmy's safe aboard the Clara M. There's the foghorn of the Clara M. Must be all of a mile from here. Jim had fallen or was pushed overboard. He wouldn't be any further away than this. Well, I haven't spotted him, so I must be wrong. Better return to the ship. I'll swing around. Wait! There below. Thought I saw two heads bobbing on the surface. Two. Wait, there they are again. Two people, and they're fighting. They're going under. Gotta dive for them. Down! Down! Dark down here under the water. Almost pitch dark. Wait, there they are. Sinking. Still locked in each other's arms. There, I got him. Now, up to the surface, and fast, up!
Leaving from the fog-bound water, Superman speeds toward the Clara M, carrying the unconscious forms of Jimmy and the unknown stowaway in his arms. Meanwhile, the ship's crew, after a fruitless search for the Whistler, gather in the forecastle.
It's like I've always said, the Whistler is a phantom, a will-o'-the-wisp.
Hey, good lush, man, that's superstitious, Doc. Just because you can't find the Whistler doesn't mean to say he's a spirit.
Yeah? What do you know about it? We've been over this tub looking for the Whistler 2 times and we ain't never seen him. Ain't that proof enough that he don't exist in flesh and blood? What do you say, Limey?
I'm not saying a word, not a blimmin' word, I ain't. I've had my say. And what happened? Just when I did you the victory, when we could have taken this here ship and sailed to where we pleased, you all turned tail and joined up with Barnaby again. Sure, I believe the Whistler's a spirit, but I ain't saying a word about it, not one bloomin' word.
Well, 'tis myself that says let's go to Barnaby and demand to be set ashore at the nearest port. And if Barnaby refuses...
All right, Mr. Kent. Bring him in here.
Oh, the saints in heaven. It's the captain himself carrying a lad in his arms.
Aye, and with Mr. Kent behind him, carrying young Jimmy. Hey, good lush, man, they're fair soap.
They ain't drowned, are they?
Oh, still breathing, both of them.
Oh, good.
Mr. Kent and me found them on deck. So how they got there is beyond me. Forecastle was nearest, so we brought them here. Clear them bunks off.
Oi, lend a hand, lad. Come on.
Must have fell overside, both of them.
Aye, but if they fell overside, how did they get on board again? And who's the other lad?
I don't know. can't understand it. There's been a lot of things happening around here I can't understand.
Jimmy's coming round. Barnaby, you better work over that other boy.
Hey, later here, lads. Let's get the sea out of his stomach.
Oh, all right, Jimmy. Easy does it.
Mr. King, what? The other boy, the fellow with me.
Oh, he's all right, too. Nothing to worry about.
But how did we get here?
No. We'll talk about that later. Right now, you've got to rest.
Now then, me bucko. Now then, that's better. Waltz and Wales. You sure swallowed enough water.
Where am I?
All right, son. Now, draw some breath.
Hey, I'm alive, ain't I? I didn't drown.
You've come close to it, and you can lay to that. Now, what were you doing aboard the Clara?
Now, let me handle this, Barnaby. Son, what's your name?
Mike Flanagan. But all the guys call me Pug. Hey, where's me pal? Hey, the guy would save me. Oh, there he is. Gee, thanks a million, pal. If not
now,
for you...
wait a minute, Pug. Wait a minute. How did you get on board the Clara M?
I stowed away. I've been hiding in that secret closet in me pal's cabin.
Jimmy's cabin?
Yeah. Is that his name? Hiya, Jim. Hiya, Pug.
How did you find the secret closet?
Well, I got into the cabin before anybody came aboard. I leaned against the wall in my hand, and this here secret panel slid back.
Secret panel? Waltz and Wales.
And you've stowed away ever since?
Yeah, and nobody would have found me. Only tonight I caught the chicken from the galley. I guess I ate it too fast. I hadn't had nothing to eat in a long time, and Jimmy cramped. Jimmy here heard me moaning. Yeah, but never mind all this. He saved my life. Where is he? Let me go to him, huh?
Take it easy, fella. I'm okay.
Yeah, but you saved me life. Even after I tried to knock you off.
Oh, go on. You wouldn't have...
Yes, I would. I'm like that. Anything, anybody gets in me way,
This chicken you stole from the galley. How did you manage it?
I whistled outside the galley and scared the cook. He ran out of the galley to get help, and I went in and took the chicken.
Here, do you mean to say, laddie,
yeah,
that you're...
I've been making believe I'm the whistler. I heard you guys talking about him, so I made out I was him. But just to get food, see, I didn't mean nothing by it. Except one night, Jimmy came after me. Followed me up the rigging, and I had to jump in his hand so he fell. Yeah, but there's something funny I gotta
You're told
enough.
You're told enough. Well, men, you see where your superstition has gotten you all? Here's your phantom whistle for you, a stowaway. Now maybe you'll realize what fools you've all been.
Well, 'tis me myself that's saying I was in the wrong, and I reckon the whole crew will join me in them sentiments.
Well, I'm glad to see you men have regained your senses. Now perhaps we can continue our cruise around the world in peace.
Yeah, but listen, there's something you gotta know.
Enough for that late and lad. Right now you need rest.
Yeah, but you don't understand about the whistler.
Well, what about the whistler?
Well, I'm not the whistler. Not the real one,
All
anyway.
right, lad, all right. Now, just take
but
it
I
easy.
tell you I'm not. I just made believe I was when I needed food. But there is a whistler. A real one on board this ship. I know. I heard him myself.
What do you mean, you've heard him?
Well, it looks as if the mystery of the Whistler isn't solved after all. But it will be in our next episode, so be sure to hear it with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
It's 8:30. 8:30. It's 8:30 New York time. Time to wake up America and stump the experts. Every week at this time, Lucky Strike stages an informal quiz party with you as the quizzers and 4 walking encyclopedias as the quizzees. For every question we use, Lucky Strike pays out $10 plus a copy of the new Information Please quiz book. If your question stumps us, you get $25 more, plus a 24-volume set of the current Encyclopedia Britannica. Send your questions to Information Please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. If our editorial staff edits your questions a bit, don't fret over it. In case of duplication, Information Please uses the question that was received first, and all questions become the property of Information Please. And now light up a Lucky Strike as I present our master of ceremonies, the literary critic of the New Yorker magazine, Clifton Fadiman. Mr. Fadiman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we repeat, as always, that Information Please is a completely unrehearsed and spontaneous program. And this evening, our board consists of the famous duo, John Kieran, sports expert and author of a recent book entitled John Kieran's Nature Notes, Franklin P. Adams, light verse writer and conductor of the Conning Tower in the New York Post, together with our two guests, John Gunther, the world-famous foreign correspondent and political authority, who has just returned from an extended trip to South America, and Lymon Bryson, conductor of the People's Platform and professor of adult education at Columbia University. Now remember, for each question that's missed, Lucky Strike rings up $25. And that's paid out to the sender, plus 24 volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, suppose we start this evening with a question coming to us from Mrs. Jessie Stockbridge of College Park, Georgia. Get 2 out of 3, gentlemen, if you can. You all know the disease, gentlemen, known as the gimmies. Can you identify the following give-me's of song or poetry? The first was the give me of a famous American patriot and statesman, Mr. Adams.
Liberty or death.
Yes, that's being very stenographic. Give us the whole sentence.
I know not what course others may take, but as for me...
You're all right.
Give me liberty or give me death?
Yes, that's very good. Thank you, Mr. Adams. And that was said by whom?
Patrick W. Henry.
And could you... Patrick... Well, did he have a middle name?
Well, he ought to.
Hereafter, it's Patrick W. Henry. More for the schoolboys to memorize. And when was this said, Mr. Adams?
I think at the Continental Convention.
Would give me a date. Mr. Kieran.
Oh, I think it was said at a meeting in Virginia.
I believe it was.
It was a Virginia gathering for delegates.
That's right.
And
what year was it, Mr. Kieran? Remember?
I'd say it was around 1774.
I think it was 75. Now, how about the next give me? This is the give me of an early American builder of small boats. An early American builder of small boats. I get a blank look. Mr. Kieran, no,
Give me of thy bark, O birch tree.
That's right.
Hiawatha.
Very good. Very good. From Hiawatha. That's a tricky one. Now, the following give me was that of a bike-riding suitor. A bike-riding suitor. Is the question clear? A bike-riding suitor would be a suitor that rode a bike. Mr. Adams.
Your answer, true.
Very good. It's from what, Mr. Adams?
Daisy Bell.
Daisy, from a bicycle built for two. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. Gentlemen, I think that's very good. Sends us on to the next question, coming to us from C. Newman Degler of Newark, New Jersey. Again, get 2 out of 3 if you can. I'm going to read 3 very famous statements. Give me the source. Here's
Another
the first. No, this one has no give-me's in it, Mr. Adams. You want to rest? Quote, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. The source, Mr. Gunther?
It's Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of Independence, yes. Well, that's a very easy one to start us off with. Here's the next. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Mr. Bryson.
Rousseau.
Rousseau. What were you going to say, Mr. Gunther?
Karl Marx. It's from the Communist Manifesto, isn't it?
No, how does it... no, I don't think so.
It's in the Communist Manifesto in spirit, but Marx took it from Rousseau.
Oh, the plagiarist. It's from what... Again. It's from what... I will, Mr. Gunther, in a minute. But from what book of Rousseau's is it?
It's not an essay on inequality.
I think it's from the Social Contract.
Well, it's...
Is that the same? Isn't the same?
No, it's not the same. I think it's wrong. I think that's wrong, but...
Who is?
I think it's from the essay on social inequality.
Well, now we'll look it up after the class is over.
Anyway, it's from Rousseau.
It's from Rousseau.
And he won a prize on both essays, so it didn't make any difference to him.
Well, now you still think it's from Karl Marx, do you, Mr. Gunther?
Well, I know I'm wrong.
No, I think not. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains is the first line, I believe, of the Social Contract. Now, the next quotation. These are the times that try men's souls. Now, we have several hands here. Mr. Adams?
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine, what book? Mr. Kieran?
I think it's The Rights of Man, isn't it?
No.
Mr. Bryson.
The American Crisis.
Yes, The Crisis by Thomas Paine. These are the times that try men's souls. Well, that gives us 3 out of 3 on that. Gentlemen, you're too good this evening. How about this one? I think I'll make you get all on this. This comes from Sidney J. White of Buffalo. Distinguish among these diplomatic agents. An ambassador, a minister, a consul. The difference. Mr. Gunther.
Well, an ambassador is the highest ranking officer that a government sends abroad, and he represents the head of the state from which
he comes.
Is that why Mr. Roosevelt is entitled to say my ambassador, as he has in the past?
I'm not quite sure.
Mr. Adams?
That's quite correct. But an ambassador of the United States abroad represents Mr. Roosevelt.
That's right.
Not the government of the United States. He represents the government of the United States, too.
Absolutely correct. Now, how about a minister?
A minister represents the government of the United States abroad, but not the person of the head of state. And it's the immediately subordinate rank to that of ambassador.
Well,
he lives in a legation, whereas an ambassador is in an embassy.
Are there some countries to which we send a minister but not an ambassador, Mr. Gunther?
Oh, a great many.
Great many. Countries of less importance.
Well, Bolivia, for instance.
Hope you have no Bolivians listening into you.
The small Central American states and some of the small European states before unfortunate things began happening to them.
Good enough. Well, that gives us the difference between an ambassador and a minister. Now, how about a consul?
Well, a consul,
Mr. Gunther?
is in a slightly different category, although now our foreign services have merged. A consul, historically and primarily, was to tend to business, shipping, and other routine matters. He was not ever empowered to negotiate. He was not a plenipotentiary.
He wasn't accredited to the head of the government to which he was sent, then. Well, and mainly it wasn't his job to look after his co-nationals in the country to which he was sent.
When they got thrown in jail and so on.
Yes. That gives us an ambassador, a minister, and a consul, and still no stickers tonight. How about this one? From S. Omar Barca of Tecoloteños, New Mexico. And if I'm mispronouncing that word, I hope that all the Tecoloteñoses of New Mexico will forgive me. Now, get 2 out of 3 if you can. Quote one line or more from a well-known poem or song in which these words occur. The words are somewhat related in meaning: moaning, whining, gurgling. Mr. Kieran.
And may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea.
Yes.
Let there be.
You know, Mr. Adams, I think Mr. Kieran's right this time. I think it's May.
Is it?
I think so, Mr. Adams. Not sure, but I think it's May, as Mr. Kieran said. That is from what poem?
Tennyson's Crossing the Bar.
Yes. Think of any others. Oh, well, how about whining? Mr. Kieran again.
The schoolboy with shining... No,
that's whining morning face?
That's right.
I think you've...
Sometimes.
You've got your quotation a little garbled, Mr. Adams. You're on the right track, Mr. Adams.
The whining schoolboy with shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school.
Yes, those are very good lines, and they come from what play?
They come from As You Like It.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Kieran, As You Like It. Very good. Well, we've got moaning and whining. Now, how about gurgling? Gurgling. This is the hard one. I don't suppose I'm more than...
there's gurgling water under a brook somewhere.
There no doubt is, but I don't think you can get away with it, Mr. Gunther. You don't say that with the positiveness that Mr. Adams does when he makes up something like that. Mr. Bryson.
I can tell you where to find it, but I can't quote the line.
Where would you find it?
In Sotheby's How the Waters Came Down at Lahore.
Lador.
I think it's Lador, Mr. Adams. You're right this time, by golly. That's very good. I don't know whether there's a gurgling in that or not. Are you sure, Mr. Bryson?
Yes, I'm sure.
I can think of
all possible words that have to do with water.
Most of them are, but I'm not sure that gurgling is there.
I don't think gurgling is there because it doesn't rhyme with anything.
It's in the middle of a sentence.
Mr. Adams, what would gurgling rhyme with?
Burgling.
Burgling. And, Mr. Adams, can you help us out now?
Well, the waters don't come down burgling.
They certainly don't. But I can think of some lines from the Pirates of Penzance in which there are gurgling.
You love to hear
gurgling.
the little brook a gurgling.
That's the one.
Listen to the merry village chime.
Yes. I thought I detected a little note of melody there at the end, Mr. Adams. Now, that's the one I was thinking of. Well, that gives us 2 out of 3 at least. And the extra one, I think I hinted to Mr. Adams. Now, the next one is from Barbara Griffin of Springfield, Massachusetts. Again, I think you should get all on these, gentlemen. I'm going to name 3 groups of events. Identify the presidents during whose administrations they occurred. Now, here is the first group, and all these things occurred during a specific administration. Which one? Tunney beat Dempsey. Queen Marie of Romania visited the United States, and the first Soviet 5-year plan, remember, was initiated. Mr. Gunther.
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge, that's quite right. Mr. Kieran had his hand up and was about to say, Mr. Kieran?
Same thing.
Very good. Here is another. Babe Ruth pitched against Brooklyn in the World Series. The women's suffrage amendment was adopted. John Barrymore starred in Tolstoy's play Redemption. Whose administration? Mr. Kieran.
That was the first administration of President Wilson.
That's quite right. Woodrow Wilson is that's quite right. Very good, Mr. Kieran. Now, how about this one? The first complete wireless message was sent across the Atlantic. The New York Giants refused to play a World Series. The Russo-Japanese War began, and Oscar Levant was born. I don't think I've got these in the order of their importance.
That's a fine anticlimax.
Well, I have two hands, Mr. Kieran and Mr. Gunther. Want to split it between you?
Well, I'll give it to John.
I think it's William Howard Taft.
No.
Gee, you should have had Mr. Kieran take. Mr. Bryson.
Roosevelt.
Which one?
The first.
That's the boy. A lot of presence of mind there, Mr. Bryson. Yes, Theodore Roosevelt. That's quite right. I don't know how old that makes Mr. Levant. I guess Mr. Levant must have been born around 1905. Mr. Kieran, why did the New York Giants refuse to play a World Series?
It was in 1903. They thought the winners of the New American League were just Johnny-come-latelys, and they couldn't be bothered with them.
Snobs. Well, that gives us 3 out of 3. You're a little too quick on that one, Mr. Gunther.
I guess I was.
How about this? This comes from Mrs. Florine P. Stratton of Essex, Connecticut. Get 2 out of 3 on this. This is a question about sailors. What sailor, gentlemen, had insomnia? What sailor had insomnia? Mr. Kieran?
The Ancient Mariner.
The Ancient Mariner. Could you prove it, Mr. Kieran?
Well, he couldn't sleep. I mean, I've forgotten the exact line.
Mr. Gunther?
Captain Horatio Hornblower had insomnia on some pages of those Forrester books.
Yes.
So did I.
And the readers, too, yes. Well, to give you the documentation on this, Mr. Kieran, 7 days, 7 nights, I saw that curse, and yet I could not die. Do you remember that? It's when all the sailors on
fell
down dead, and he couldn't sleep with a horrible sight. What sailor liked cheese? What sailor liked cheese? Probably only one sailor, Mr. Kieran.
I think it was Ben Gunn.
Who is Ben Gunn?
He's in Treasure Island.
That's right. I think that's pretty good. I don't suppose there's another sailor in all literature who liked cheese. Ben Gunn in Treasure Island. How do you happen to remember that, Mr. Kieran?
Well, that's the first thing he asked for, I think, when the hero of Treasure Island came upon him.
Right.
Asked him, did he have a little bit of cheese?
A little bit of cheese. Very pathetic.
Nowadays, you'd ask for a Lucky.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. What sailor never used bad language? Mr. Adams.
Admiral... No, Captain Corcoran.
Captain Corcoran. Where do you find Captain Corcoran?
In HMS Pinafore.
In HMS Pinafore. And can you prove that Captain Corcoran never used bad language?
Hardly ever.
Well, hardly ever. Bad language or abuse I never use, and so forth. Now, so far, Lucky Strike, which is very lucky indeed this evening, announces a loss of no dollars and no sets of the Britannica. And now here's the very consistent Mr. Cross.
It's easy to be consistent, Mr. Fadiman, when I talk about Lucky's, because Lucky Strike consistently pays higher prices and gets the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobaccos at market after market. One of these markets is Huntington, West Virginia, where, during the past season, the American Tobacco Company paid 30% more per pound for the tobacco it bought for its cigarettes and other tobacco products. Yes, 30% above the average market price paid for all the various types and grades of tobacco sold there. And the best we bought will go to Lucky's. Other markets are Knoxville, Tennessee, where American paid 35% more. New Tazewell, Tennessee, where American paid 37% more. And Western Missouri, where American paid 41% more. And so it goes at market after market all over the South. No wonder with men who know tobacco best, it's Lucky's 2-to-1. Have you tried a Lucky lately?
Mr. Cross, your brevity is equally consistent. You said your say in exactly 59 seconds. Well, see if you can get all on this, gentlemen. This comes from Mrs. N. Rudin of New York City. What was the occasion which inspired these phrases recently seen in the news? There are 3. Here's the first. Quote, found her soul, close quote. Found her soul. Mr. Bryson.
Churchill said that in a speech about the Yugoslav people.
Yes, a very telling phrase. He said that Yugoslavia, when she took her stand against the Axis powers, had found her soul. Quote, full neutrality and understanding, close quote. Who said that apropos of what? Full neutrality and understanding. This again is recent, I should think during the last week. How about a guess? Mr. Adams.
President of the United States.
No, it's a fair guess, but that would be wrong. Mr. Gunther.
This is a guess,
Hall.
but I think it's in the interchange of notes between the United States and the German government on...
No, it is not, Mr.
Sabotage.
Gunther. Mr. Bryson?
I'll make a guess that it was Prince Paul.
No, we've guessed practically everybody. Mr.
Oh,
Karen?
yes, now I do know. I think it's the new Yugoslav Prime Minister, Simovic, who said after repudiating the treaty with the Axis that his predecessor had made that Yugoslavia would now start a policy of complete true neutrality.
That's a beautiful explanation. It's wrong. It certainly sounds convincing. Mr. Kieran. Mr. Kieran, you had your hand up, but you're the only one that hasn't said his say so far.
Well, I was going in on Yugoslavia and Turkey, and be wrong with John there.
You'd be half wrong. It was Russia's statement of her policy with respect to Turkey. Full neutrality and understanding. Russia's statement with respect to Turkey. Well, you're not more than about 800 miles away, Mr. Gunther.
But you didn't say full understanding before.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I think I did. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Now, the next and last phrase is very simple. Well done. Well done.
No.
Mr. Bryson?
Well, that's been said so many times by so many people.
It has. That's quite true. It was said very recently.
Mr. Goldenpaul said it this evening. I heard him.
It was said very recently about a very important action. Very important historically. Very important in the course of the war. Gentlemen, Admiral Cunningham of the English fleet said it to the fleet after its engagement with the Italians in the Ionian Sea. After the Italian fleet had been pretty well demolished, he sent one of his brief English statements ending with, well done. Well, that gives us, only gives us 1 out of 3. That will send $25 instead of the Britannica to Mrs. Rudin. Now, gentlemen, the next one's much easier. You can rest on this one. It comes from S.H. Seskin of Newark, New Jersey. Name 4 literary characters who are famous because they slept. Famous for sleeping. Mr. Kieran, will you start us off?
Rip Van Winkle and the Sleeping Beauty.
Rip Van Winkle and the Sleeping Beauty. Yes, that gives us 2. You meant them as separate characters, of course, I hope, Mr. Kieran. Mr. Bryson.
The Dormouse.
The Dormouse, yes, and Alice in Wonderland. That's a very good one, Mr. Bryson. Mr. Adams.
I'll give you a lot more.
All right.
7 Sleepers of Ephesus.
That's right. That gives us 10. That's a peach. 7 Sleepers of Ephesus in the old story. Then there's the hare in the Aesop's fable, the hare and the tortoise, who slept for a short while. There's a Shakespearean character, Mr. Kieran, who's famous for doing a little sleeping. Mr. Gunther?
Lady Macbeth.
Lady Macbeth in the famous sleepwalking scene. Very good.
And she didn't sleep.
Well, she slept.
Macbeth did murder sleep.
She slept and talked at the same time. Don't you remember, Mr. Adams? Can you give me a character in Pickwick Papers who's famous for sleeping? Mr. Kieran.
The fat boy.
Yes, the fat boy is always falling asleep. Well, that gives us, with Mr. Adams' 7, about 15. Paul V. Guy of Washington, D.C. sends this one in. It's a 4-part question. Get 3 out of 4 if you can. Now, these names that I'm now going to mention achieved unusual fame as a result of their association with another more famous person. Who is or was the more famous person? The first is George Chapman. Mr. Kieran.
John Keats.
Now, will you explain your answer?
Why, Keats wrote that famous sonnet on first looking into Chapman's Homer.
Yes. Who was Chapman, Mr. Kieran?
Well, he was a historian and a poet. He was a good while before Keats, by the way.
Oh, yes, I think
it was in Shakespearean
Yes,
time.
he was, exactly. And he was a translator of,
That's right,
of Homer.
of the Iliad.
And we remember him...
because it said, until Chapman spoke out loud and bold.
Very good.
And so on.
It's the 14 lines then of Keats that has made Chapman more famous than his whole translation of the Iliad. Now, the next person achieved fame as a result of association with whom? The person is Gridley. Gridley. We have several hands up here. Mr. Gunther.
You may fire when ready, Gridley.
Very good. Who said so?
Admiral Dewey.
Admiral Dewey.
Battle of Manila Bay.
Battle of Manila Bay, what year?
Oh, about
1898, May 1st.
It was May 1st, Mr. Adams. Very good.
On the bridge of the USS Olympia.
Gosh, you do
in
know
the
an awful lot about
Spanish-American
him.
War.
Now, the third name is Mortimer Snerd. Mortimer Snerd. Mr. Bryson, our adult education expert.
I suppose he's associated with Charlie McCarthy, who's a more famous character.
Yes, he's a character on the Charlie McCarthy program invented by Mr. Edgar Bergen. Did you know that, Mr. Adams?
No.
Don't listen to your competitors?
I don't listen to the radio at all.
Well, you know, Charlie McCarthy is very good. Funnier than we are. How about Thomas Hardy, and I don't mean the writer. I don't mean the writer, gentlemen. Mr. Bryson again.
Isn't that the Hardy that Nelson asked to kiss him as he was dying?
Yes. On what famous occasion?
The Battle of Trafalgar.
Yeah, Battle of Trafalgar. What were the exact words?
Kiss me, Hardy.
Kiss me, Hardy. That's right. Thank you, gentlemen. That gives us 4 out of 4. He's associated with Lord Nelson.
Easiest way to say it, after all.
Well, as Lord Nelson lay dying. Now the next one, gentlemen, comes from Lillian Decker of Hollywood, California. Get 2 out of 3. What might have been the grievance of these people? In the first case, the grievance of a man named Vasco Nunez de Balboa against Mr. Kieran's friend John Keats. So we have several hands. Mr. Adams.
It wasn't Balboa who... It was Balboa who discovered the Pacific.
Yes.
And not Stout Cortez.
Yes. Who set up Stout Cortez?
The Darien man.
There you are. Local pride again. Stout Cortez was given credit by Keats for discovering the Pacific, and of course it was really Balboa. Now, what grievance might Christopher Columbus have had against a man named Martin Waltzee-Müller? Martin Waltzee-Müller. Hard one, by golly. I think we got him stuck. Christopher Columbus is very easy.
No, the other name.
Waltzee-Müller is spelled W-A-L-D.
Oh, I know.
All right, Mr. Kieran.
Why, he was a map maker, I believe, and he gave the name of this country to America after Vespucci instead of giving it to Columbus, who really was the first one to.
That is the complete and total story. Very good, Mr. Kieran. Thank you very much.
I'm surprised he said map maker. I suppose he meant cartographer.
John Fitch might have had a grievance against Robert Fulton. Why? John Fitch against Robert Fulton. Mr. Kieran again, huh?
Why, Fitch was a little ahead of Fulton in experiments with steamboats.
I think more than that.
Well, he may have taken out a patent or something, but I mean, that's his grievance. He thinks that Fulton got all the credit for inventing the steamboat.
Well, actually, according to many historians, Fitch really invented the steamboat, and Fulton was the man who did the exploitation and, as you say, got the patent. In other words, we say Robert Fulton invented the steamboat, and we should say John Fitch. We never do.
May I say at the same time before the letters come in that it was 1904, not 1903, that the Giants refused to play the American.
You mean to say you've been worrying about that all this time?
That's right. When they first played him in 1905.
In that case, I think I'll give you a sports question, Mr. Kieran. Maybe we can get you on an error on this one. From Richard E. Kinsman of Elmira, New York. Get 2 out of 3. What game begins when the referee throws an object vertically in the air? What game? Mr. Bryson.
Basketball.
Basketball. What game begins when the ball is thrown into a group of players? Mr. Kieran.
I think the rugby begins that way. I'm not sure.
You have me there. I don't know. There's a game we play over here, though.
Yes, polo.
Polo.
Does over here.
Yes, and water polo.
Yes, that's right.
What game begins with the ball being bounced before being put into play? Mr. Adams.
It might be table tennis.
Yes, it might be table tennis. What were you going to say, Mr. Kieran?
Same thing.
Yes, table tennis it is. How about this one? From Mrs. Beatrice Mayer of Brooklyn. Identify the greedy person or miser who did the following things. In the first case, he was accused of a robbery he did not commit and later robbed of his own hoardings. Who was that? He was accused of a robbery he didn't commit and later robbed of his own store of gold. Well, the answer, gentlemen, is
Silas
Marner?
Very good, Mr. Bryson, Mr. Kieran. Thank you. Which one feigned deadly sickness in order to attract gifts from friends and followers until his servant double-crossed him. Mr. Kieran.
I think that's in Aesop's Fables, the lion, wasn't it?
I don't remember that. I was thinking of a play by an Elizabethan.
Molière's. Did Molière's miser have that experience?
No. We've named two misers, but I think the proper answer is Ben Jonson's character. Any of you remember who that was now? Volpone. Now that gives us one wrong. How about this one? What greedy person was punished for his greed by being unable to eat a square meal? Mr. Adams.
King Midas.
King Midas. What happened to him?
Oh, everything he touched turned to gold.
Everything he touched turned to gold, yes. That's quite right. I think that's all we're going to have time for, gentlemen. That gives us 3 out of 3 and very well answered this evening. And now Mr. Cross explains why he can say so much so quickly.
Well, smokers, I need only quote a few tobacco market reports to give you an accurate picture of what happens all over tobacco land. That's because at every one of the 119 markets that handle 96% of all the cigarette tobaccos sold at auction in this country, Lucky Strike pays higher prices for tobacco. As you recall, American paid 30% more than the market average in Huntington, West Virginia, 35% more in Knoxville, Tennessee, 37% more in New Tazewell, Tennessee, and more in Western Missouri. These markets are typical. Just how typical is shown by the smoking preference of the independent tobacco land. They see Lucky's pay higher prices and get the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobaccos. And they smoke Lucky's by an overwhelming majority. Yes, with independent experts, buyers, warehousemen, and auctioneers, with men who know tobacco best, it's Lucky's 2-1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cross. Now, tonight, Lucky Strike, which has had a very successful evening, seems to have paid out only $25 and one set of the Encyclopedia Britannica, very largely due to the expert answering of Mr. Bryson and Mr. Gunther, whom we thank for coming to Lucky Strike's party this evening. Now, next week, our well-known terrific trio, Oscar Levant, John Kieran, and Franklin P. Adams, will be in there punching as usual. And as our guest, we announce an actor familiar to us on stage and screen, the star of the current play now running on Broadway, The Tally Method, Mr. Philip Merivale. Now, remember, all those who are listening, for every question we use, whether or not it's answered correctly, the sender gets the sum of $10. And if the question should happen to stump our experts, which happens more than once, you not only get $25 more, but in addition, the complete 24-volume set of the latest edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Please remember to send your letters with questions and the correct answers to Information, please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. Listen to a parting message from Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs, the famous tobacco auctioneer from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
And that chant, fully interpreted, ladies and gentlemen, means Lucky's pay higher prices for the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobaccos. With independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, warehousemen, with men who know tobacco best, it's Lucky's 2-1.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Sloan's Liniment, your faithful friend when muscles ache in pain, presents Gangbusters.
Calling the police, calling the G-men, calling all Americans to war on the underworld.
Gangbusters, brought to you, the men and women of America, by the makers of Sloan's Liniment. With the cooperation of leading law enforcement officials of the United States, Gangbusters presents facts in the relentless war of the police on the underworld. Authentic case histories that show the never-ending activity of the police in their work of protecting our citizens. America's crusade against crime. You, too, can help in our crusade. Here's a last-minute police bulletin.
Nationwide alarm. Attention all citizens. Watch for Clifford Davidson, 32, 5 feet 7 inches, 208 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. This man, veteran criminal and escape artist, broke from jail, Wewoka, Oklahoma last week, where he is awaiting trial for murder, allegedly committed following a previous escape from prison. Caution, this man is dangerous.
Gangbusters urges you to be on the alert for this criminal. We will have more clues for you at the end of our program. In a moment, we'll be ready for our proxy interview between Colonel H. Norman Schwarzkopf and prosecuting attorney Stanley Wallach of St. Louis County, Missouri, who will discuss the strange case of the missing corpse in which a dead man convicted as murderer. But first, April showers, they say, bring May flowers, but they also bring the muscular aches and pains that often go with damp and windy weather. Yet there's no need for any member of your family to suffer the discomfort of a stiff neck or sore back, just so long as you have that handy bottle of dependable Sloan's Liniment on your medicine shelf. Here's Sloan's 1-2 heat treatment that has brought such quick and comforting relief to millions. 1, pat on some Sloan's Liniment. 2, relax for a few minutes. Then, like a heat treatment, Sloan's glowing warmth goes to work on that tight and painful spot. In almost no time at all, Sloan's will help soothe your pain away. You'll find Sloan's quick action is a welcome friend, whatever the cause of your muscular distress. Accident, overexertion, or exposure to raw and biting weather. Ask your druggist for Sloan's Liniment if you need a fresh supply after the last few wintry months. Sloan's costs so little, and you're so grateful for its soothing help when you want relief in a hurry. Now for our proxy interview between Colonel Schwarzkopf and prosecuting attorney Stanley Wallach of St. Louis County, Missouri. Picture our setting as a special office turned over to Gangbusters by Commissioner Louis J. Valentine of the New York City Police. Colonel Schwarzkopf.
The case of the missing corpse. Prosecutor Wallach, that sounds almost like fiction.
Tonight's case may appear fantastic, Colonel Schwarzkopf, but it is a matter of public record. This case concerns Elmer Dowling and Izzy Lundy, two crafty criminals whose viciousness has seldom been matched by any criminals anywhere. We begin in St. Louis one late afternoon in February 1938 in the hideout apartment maintained by Elmer Dowling.
Drink up, Lundy.
Thanks, Dowling.
I asked you up here to explain what I got in mind for you.
What do you mean?
I'm considering you as triggerman for my outfit.
Triggerman, huh?
Yeah. Next thing I consider is what's your experience.
I got plenty.
I got it all right here on my desk. Here on this case history card. Izzy Lundy, known as Monkey Years. Robberies and other jobs, Marquette prison 10 to 20 years. Shot way out of jail, handy with guns.
How'd you find out all that, Dowling?
That's my business, to find things out. And to get things done.
Why should I join your mob, huh?
Listen, Lundy. When I want a man in my mob, he joins.
But I've been away for 13 years. I've been out of things.
I'll teach you the ropes. Then you'll be a big asset to my protective organization.
Protective organization?
Yeah. For businessmen and storekeepers. They pay us so much dough per week for protection. Protection from our own gang.
But suppose the storekeepers squawk to the cops.
They know better than that. It's cheaper to pay up and shut up than to stop a bullet or get crippled for life.
Yeah. Sounds okay to me, Dowling.
Lundy, before we're through, we'll have every store in the city in our protective organization. They're going to pay us, and they're going to pay plenty.
Good morning, mister. You remember me?
What are you men back here again for?
Hey, listen, mister, this is your last chance. Are you joining our protective organization or ain't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, boys. Dump that paint all over the place. Give them the works.
Right, pal. Okay. No, stop it. Don't, please.
We're going to teach you a lesson, mister. And if you ever blab to the cops, you'll never see your wife or kids again. Go to it, boys. Don't answer that phone, buddy. My business comes first. You got the money for the organization?
I tell you, I can't pay you. I'm not taking enough money in my store.
You're trying to welch on the organization, huh? Well, I'll show you.
What are you going to do?
You know what's in this can?
No.
Acid.
No, don't.
It's all yours, mister. Right in your face.
Oh, my!
That's the dry cleaning store on the corner, Red. The one Dowling wants us to take care of.
I got the dynamite already, Lundy.
All right, drive by the store, and I'll light the fuse and heat it.
Hey, Lundy, there's a guy down the block.
Don't worry about the guy down the block. I'll light the fuse.
Step on it, then. Hey!
Emergency squad. Explosion in dry cleaning store at Franklin and Jefferson Avenues at 10 p.m. Investigate immediately. Repeating, explosion in dry cleaning store, Franklin and Jefferson Avenues.
An hour later, Colonel, at headquarters.
You got that report, Moore?
Yes, Captain. The emergency squad say dynamite was used to blow up that dry cleaning store.
Moore, we can be pretty certain who's back of this outbreak of violence. Racketeers extorting money from businessmen.
It's an ugly situation, Captain. We can't get witnesses to testify against these crooks.
Yes, crooks like Elmer Dowling.
Now we've got another bombing on our hands, and still no witness.
I'm assigning additional squads of plainclothesmen to cover various business places and stores and... Yes?
Captain, there's a man out here by the name of Louis Lee Baker. He wants to see you.
What about?
He says it's about the bombing of that dry cleaning store tonight.
The bombing? Send him right in.
Yes, Captain. Right away, sir.
Moore, open the door.
Yes, sir. Come right in, sir. The captain will see you.
Thank you. How do, Captain? My name's Baker.
Glad to see you, Mr. Baker. Have a chair.
Thank you.
You say you know something about this bombing tonight?
Well, I don't know if this means anything, Captain, but I thought I ought to report it anyway.
Report what, sir?
Well, at 10 o'clock, I was walking along Franklin Avenue.
Yes?
And just as I was about to cross the street, a car came racing down the avenue.
What happened?
Well, there was an explosion. I didn't know then it was a bomb. Later, I got thinking about it, and the bomb and the speeding car.
What kind of a car was it?
It was a Chrysler sedan. I didn't see the license number, but I did get a good look at one of the men in the car.
Oh, is that so?
He was sort of pasty looking. Had very black eyebrows and big lips.
Anything else?
Well, the one thing I noticed most of all were his ears.
His ears?
Yes, sir. They stuck way out.
What's that?
Well, I never saw a man whose ears stuck out so much, sir.
Was he stockily built?
Yes, he was.
This means something to you, Moore?
I'm not sure yet, Captain. But I used to know a criminal who fitted that general description to a T. Monkey ears, they called him. If it's the same man, he's a gunman of the worst type.
All right. We'll have Mr. Baker go through the identification files. If he can pick out the picture of the same criminal you have in mind, we'll have our first positive identification to help smash this gang.
And the picture that Louis Lee Baker identified, Colonel, was the picture of Monkey Ears. Izzy Lundy. The authorities moved fast and arrested him in a few hours.
Good police work, Prosecutor Wallach.
Indicted for this bombing, Lundy posted bail and was released by the courts pending trial. He immediately phoned Dowling.
Yeah, Dowling, that's why I'm calling you. That Baker guy's identified me for the bombing of that dry cleaning store. I'll go to jail, I would.
Hold it, Lundy. Where are you calling from?
From a drugstore. I'm afraid to come near you. The cops are on my trail.
I thought so. Now, let me think.
This is serious, Dowling. You've got to help me.
Yeah, I know how serious it is. Once the cops throw you in jail, they'll probably get more information that'll lead to me.
You? I'm the guy that's in a jam.
Well, think of the spot I'm in. Hey, wait a minute. What did you say is the name of the guy who saw the bombing?
Baker. Louis Lee Baker.
Baker, eh? Is he the only witness the cops got?
Yeah.
You sure of that?
Positive.
Good.
What do you mean, good?
If something should happen to this witness, the cops wouldn't have no case, would they?
That's right, Dowling.
Well, something is going to happen to him. We're going to find this guy, Baker. And when we do, he won't be a witness. He'll be a corpse.
Meanwhile, Colonel, at headquarters, the captain was talking with Mr. Baker.
Mr. Baker, your identification of Izzy Lundy as the cleaning store bomber is the first good break we've had in our campaign to rid this city of racketeers.
I'm glad I'm able to help, Captain.
You'll realize, Mr. Baker, that your life is in constant danger.
Yes, sir.
That gang will stop at nothing, absolutely nothing, to prevent you from testifying at Lundy's trial. So we're going to hide you on a little farm near Sykeston, Missouri. You know where that is?
Yes, sir. About 150 miles south of here.
Yes. Under no circumstances are you to leave the farm unless accompanied by our men.
I understand, Captain.
When we want you, our men will show their credentials and will tell you the captain wants to see you. Now remember that phrase. The captain wants to see you.
Yes, sir. The captain wants to see you.
Mr. Baker was taken to this farm, Colonel, and given ample police protection. Then a startling event occurred.
Prosecutor Wallach,
We're anxious to hear this startling occurrence, but right now, here's Charles Stark with a few words.
Mowing the lawn for the first time after the long winter months is always a chore. The ground is uneven, the grass is tough, and you yourself are probably more than a bit tired and sore when you've finished. That's when you need Sloan's 1-2 heat treatment to bring you quick and comforting relief from muscular aches and pains. Here's all you have to do. 1, take your bottle of reliable Sloan's from your medicine shelf and pat on some of this quick-acting liniment. 2, relax. And then, like a heat treatment, Sloan's helps ease those stiff and aching muscles. You can actually feel that penetrating, glowing warmth easing away your pain. Sloan's liniment has helped millions in just this quick and easy way during the past 50 years. And Sloan's will probably do you the same good turn. You'll find Sloan's liniment a true family friend in need. Welcome to the members of your family all through the year. For whatever the cause of your muscular distress, accident, overexertion, or exposure to chilling drafts, you'll find that Sloan's will help you forget your aches and pains in almost no time at all. So make sure you always have a bottle of Sloan's on your medicine shelf. Ask your druggist tomorrow for Sloan's liniment. Now back to Colonel Schwarzkopf.
Prosecutor Wallach, with Mr. Baker hidden out on a farm near Sykeston, Missouri, and with Elmer Dowling threatening to kill Baker to prevent his testifying at Izzy Londy's trial, you said a startling event occurred.
Baker stayed close to the farm, Colonel Schwarzkopf, awaiting word that the captain wanted to see him. Then, 1 week later, Baker was standing at the farm entrance when 2 men drove up and got out of their car.
Oh, Baker. Mr. Baker.
Yes, sir. You gentlemen want to see me?
Yes, Mr. Baker. We're detectives from headquarters.
Detectives?
See our badges? The captain sent us out. He wants to see you right away about that bombing.
The captain wants to see me.
Now, if you'll just get in the car.
But I'd like to leave word with the men at the farmhouse where I'm going.
We haven't got
time for that.
This is urgent, Mr. Baker. We don't want to keep the captain waiting.
Well, you know best, sir.
Sit right here in the front seat.
Thank you.
Right between the two of us.
You don't know what the captain wants to see me about, do you?
I'm not sure, but I think it has something to do with murder.
Gentlemen, we've been driving for an hour. It's getting dark. We're going in the wrong direction. This isn't the way to town.
Baker.
Yes, sir?
We're not going to town.
What?
The captain's going to meet us at a house just up the side road.
Oh, why didn't you tell me about this before, sir?
We got our orders.
There's the place now.
That house looks deserted. There's no lights.
Don't worry about that, Baker.
Well, where's the captain's car if he's going to meet us out here?
Guess we're a little early. How about it, pal?
I guess we are.
Well, let's go in the house anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, Baker.
I'd rather wait here in the car.
No, Baker. We're going inside.
Come on, Baker. Orders are orders.
All right. I'll do what you men say.
Quiet around here. Ain't it, Baker?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Let me take your arm, Baker.
Take my arm?
Yeah, it's so dark you might stumble.
You're sure the captain will be here?
Step inside, Baker.
It's so dark in here, I can't see.
Turn on your flashlight, pal.
Sure.
Go on inside, Baker.
Hey. There's no one in this house. It's empty. Deserted.
That's right, Baker. That's why we brought you here.
What do you mean?
Just this.
That did it for him, all right, Tom.
Wait. I want to make sure. Now we got nothing to worry about, Red. 2 bullets right through his head. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Darling, you think anybody could have heard those shots?
Nah. No one lives within miles of this place.
Let's get in the car and scram.
Hey, Red. Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
We ought to get rid of that body.
Not me. I ain't going back to touch no corpse.
Red, unless you want the same thing Baker got, you better come with me.
Okay, darling. But I don't like it. Yes. It's quiet around here, ain't it?
And dark. Good spot for a job like this. Flash your light.
Darling, look.
Say, what the?
The corpse, the body. It's gone.
But it can't be. It was right here on the floor a minute ago. Flash your light around.
The room is empty.
But he was dead. I killed him. 2 bullets right through his head.
Then where is he?
A dead man can't get up and walk away.
I'm getting out of here.
Me too.
Prosecutor Wallach, do you mean to say the corpse, the victim's body, was actually gone?
Yes, Colonel. By a strange miracle of fate, Louis Lee Baker had not been killed. Though suffering intense agony, he had managed to crawl out the back door of the deserted house and hide. He saw the 2 gunmen return and then run off in terror when they found that his supposedly dead body had vanished.
So that's why the corpse was missing. What did Mr. Baker do?
He dragged himself to the side of the road where some passing workmen found him and rushed him to a hospital. Well, later that night, at the hospital, Baker talked with police officers.
That's the whole story, Captain. They shot me twice in my head, but I guess I'm too tough to kill.
I don't feel I ought to question you any further, Mr. Baker. You need rest.
I want to tell you all I know.
All right, Moore, take this down. Yes, Captain.
The man who shot me was a big fella, 6 feet, about 200 pounds.
Yes.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Now, take it easy, Mr. Baker.
I had a broken nose, no chin.
No chin?
Big fellow, blonde, blue eyes, broken nose, receding chin. Why, Captain, that description fits the man we arrested on suspicion but couldn't hold.
Yes, Elmer Dowling.
Captain, you know the man? The man who tried to kill me.
Yes, Mr. Baker, and we're going to get him.
When you do, I'll be in court to testify.
Yes, sure. All right, now relax and get some sleep.
Yes, sir.
You need every bit of strength you've got.
Yes, Captain.
Come on, Moore, we've got work to do.
That fellow Baker has more courage than a dozen men, Captain.
He certainly has, Moore.
2 things I can't understand. How Dowling found Baker at the farm, and why should Dowling want to kill him?
Seems you can't hide anything from that gang. They probably followed every move Baker made. But I know why Dowling wanted to kill him. Baker's our only witness against Izzy Lundy. If Baker had been killed, Lundy would have gone free.
Then you think Lundy and Dowling are part of the same mob, eh?
It points that way.
Yes, it does.
Moore, I want you to grab Izzy Lundy and throw him back in jail immediately. This time he's going to stay in jail till he goes on trial.
Right, Captain.
Meanwhile, I'll get to work on Dowling. We're going to put the heat on every member of that gang until we get Dowling or they turn him over to us.
Within 5 hours, Colonel, the police had again arrested Izzy Lundy, and the search for Dowling was on. Warnings was flashed from coast to coast.
Attention, all field agents. Federal Bureau Investigation. Attempt to locate and hold for questioning Elmer Dowling in connection with attempted murder. Dowling is 6 feet tall.
Urgent. Police of Eastern Seaboard. Arrest on sight Elmer Dowling, fugitive. Dowling weighs 200 pounds.
Special notice, West Coast Police. Elmer Dowling reported in California, wanted for attempted murder. Dowling has blonde hair, blue eyes. Attention, all Missouri police. Be on watch for Elmer Dowling, fugitive gangster, now at large. Dowling, believed to have returned to St. Louis, may be hiding out somewhere in city.
Dowling. Dowling.
That's you, Red?
Yeah. Open up.
Why'd you come here?
Look at this newspaper. It's about Izzy Lundy.
Lundy?
He was sentenced for that bombing today. Got 25 years.
25 years?
The guy who sent him to jail was that fella you tried to kill, Baker. He testified in court against Lundy.
That was the mistake of my life. Not making sure that guy Baker was dead. Now look what he's done. Has me hounded like a rat.
The cops sure are after you, Dowling.
I can't stand much more of this. Cooped up in 4 walls, afraid to show my nose outside. Afraid every noise I hear on the stairs is the cops. I'm going nuts. I can't sleep no more. I lie in the bed, hour after hour,
Just listening and waiting.
That's all you can do, darling. If you show up on the streets, the cops will grab you inside of 10 minutes.
So where's the rest of the gang? Why don't they do something for me?
They're hiding out from the cops, same as you.
Well, where's Jaime? You ought to be able to find Jaime.
Yeah, he must be with the others.
The yellow rats. Just when I need them, they run out on me. If I ever get my hands on them, I'll... Hold it, Red. Don't open that door. Now, wait till I get my gun.
That ain't the door, it's the phone.
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah?
Hello, darling.
Who's this?
Me, Jaime.
Oh, Jaime. Well, where you been? You got no idea how glad I am to hear you. Now, listen, Jaime. I'm on a spot, see? I need dough to beat town. Tell me where Rick can meet you so you can go and slip...
Listen, you dumb cluck.
Dumb cluck, why, I'll break you. Now, wait a minute. What's the matter?
Plenty.
What do you mean?
The cops got the gang smashed. Half the boys are in jail already. And the cops ain't going to stop till they get you and every one of us.
Yeah, well...
So there's only one thing for you to do.
For me to do?
The boys say for you to give up to the cops tonight.
What? Why, you're crazy.
You've had your warning, darling. We'll be watching you.
Yeah, now, wait, Jaime, wait.
Now, remember, darling, it's the cops or us.
Hello.
What is it, darling?
The gang. They're throwing me over. Put me on the spot.
On the spot?
Yeah. But how did they know where I was? No one knew where I was, but...
What are you looking at me like that for?
You. You were the only one who knew. You're in with them.
No. Darling, put on that gun.
Shut up. Hand over your money.
Oh, sure, darling. Here is every cent I got here.
I ain't licked yet. I'll get out of this town, and I'll kill anybody that tries to stop me.
Sure you will, sure.
Now, Red, it's your turn.
Don't shoot. Please.
I ain't shooting. I need these bullets for the cops. But here's what you're getting.
No, please.
Hello, headquarters.
Listen, copper. You want Elmer Dowling. I know where you'll get him.
Who is this?
Never mind who it is.
Oh, check this call.
Listen to me. Go out to the waiting room of the Taylor Avenue car station, and you'll find Dowling if you get there fast enough.
Maury, hung up.
What was it, Captain?
Another tip on Dowling. Get a special squad. We're going out to the Taylor Avenue car station. It may be a false alarm, but we're going to investigate at once. All right, Maud, pull up here. There's the car station.
Right, Captain. We'll leave the car here so Dowling won't see it.
Follow me, men.
Yes, sir. Any special instructions, Captain?
If Dowling is in his waiting room, we've got to be careful. He's sure to be armed, and I don't want any innocent person hurt.
Yes, sir.
We'll have our guns ready.
I'll know Dowling the second I see him.
Here's the waiting room.
Careful now, men.
A lot of people in there, Captain.
See that big fellow sitting there hiding back of that newspaper? It's Dowling.
Wonder if he sees us.
He's getting up.
Now, hold it, men. We don't want any shooting.
He's going out the back way.
Good. You two men guard this front door.
Yes, Captain.
Moore, you and I will go around back. Come on, fast. Right, Captain. Ready to shoot any instant?
Yes, sir.
Hold it. There he goes. Back of that house. Moore, you wait here. I'll cut around this side and try to head him off.
Up with your hands, copper. Dowling. Oh, I'll kill you if you don't do what I say. I'm using you as a shield. Start walking.
All right.
I'll kill you for this, copper.
Drop that gun, Dowling.
No. Okay, let go of my arm.
Let me. That gun, I said.
He got down. Come on, man. Come on. Are you all right, Captain?
Yes, Moore, I'm all right. But this rat isn't. Put the handcuffs on him. There's a man waiting at headquarters to see you, Dowling.
What man?
The man you tried to murder. A missing corpse.
Elmer Dowling was positively identified by Louis Lee Baker, Colonel, and went on trial for the attempted murder of Mr. Baker on March 4th, 1940. He was convicted and was sentenced to 30 years in the state penitentiary at Jefferson, Missouri.
This has been a most interesting case, Prosecutor Wallach, and I want to congratulate you on your successful prosecution of Dowling. One of the most impressive features of this case is the fine courage displayed by Mr. Baker, who refused to be intimidated in his efforts to help the police smash this mob. In these days of national stress, America needs citizens who support the law enforcement authorities and who are not afraid to face the gangsters and reveal them as real enemies whom this country must face. Thank you, Prosecutor Wallach, for helping us to prove again that crime does not pay. Now, before we broadcast our nationwide clues, a few words from Charles Stark.
I should like to leave you with a reminder. Muscular aches and pains often arrive without warning or invitation. During the summer months to come, when we are all more active, take the wise precaution of always having a bottle of dependable Sloan's Liniment on hand. You'll discover that Sloan's will help you get the quick and comforting relief you want. 1, pat on some Sloan's Liniment. That's all. Just pat it on. 2, relax. And soon you'll feel that welcome, gentle warmth as it penetrates right to your sore and stiff muscles, easing and soothing the pain. Ask for Sloan's Liniment when next you visit your favorite druggist. And now, the clues.
Attention, citizens Southwest. Look out for man wanted concerning murder. Negro, 33, 5 feet 7 inches, 135 pounds, black kinky hair, brown eyes, left eye punctured and may be completely out. 3 razor/scars, left arm at shoulder, may wear dark glasses to conceal defective eye. This man wanted connection murder near Muskogee, Oklahoma. Caution, citizens New England, New York, New Jersey. Watch for James Joseph Horan, 39, 5 feet 9 inches, 180 pounds, brown hair turning gray, brown eyes, tattoo initials JJH, right forearm, large ears, eyes slightly crossed. This man, veteran robber who has been operating in New York and New Jersey, wanted by federal authorities for questioning concerning robbery of bank at Suffield, Connecticut.
If you have any information concerning these clues, notify your local police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or Gangbusters at once. Tonight's broadcast is the last of the current season for Sloan's Liniment. But we have some glad news. Sloan's will again sponsor Gangbusters in the fall. Until then, we wish to thank all of you who have sent us so many splendid letters. And we want to thank the police organizations of the country for cooperating with the producers of Gangbusters in proving so conclusively that crime does not pay. And speaking for Sloan's, a very happy summer to you all until we meet again in the fall. America's crusade against crime.
Calling all Americans to war on the underworld.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Starring Joan Blondell in I Want a Divorce.
Judge, I want a divorce.
Divorce granted.
Judge, I want a divorce.
Divorce granted.
Judge, I want a divorce.
Divorce granted.
I want a divorce.
I want a divorce.
I want a divorce.
Faster, faster, ever faster does the divorce mill grind away yesteryear's happiness. Why? Ask millions. Listen to I Want a Divorce, the copyrighted program approved by many leaders of church and state. The program that dramatizes the real-life happenings in other people's marriages. Broadcast coast to coast from Hollywood each week at this hour. Cal York, Hollywood correspondent of Photoplay Movie Mirror magazine, to tell us something of tonight's story.
The heroine and the hero of tonight's play came from opposite ends of the earth, physically and in every other way. June Hansen, a magnificent specimen, a farm girl in Wisconsin, and Perry Hurst, less than average size, an artist with an artist's outlook. It's from a story in the May issue of True Story magazine by William Jordan Rapp. So on with tonight's play, I Want a Divorce.
June, where are you?
I'm in the milk house running the separator.
I just talked to Rolf. He says to tell you that he's coming out tonight. Rolf's mighty fond of you, June girl. What man wouldn't be?
Oh, Father.
Now, you're like a Viking, and to be sure there's Viking blood in you. Pity your mother couldn't have lived to see you grow into a big, strong girl. Turn that thing off. Well, June, about Rolf.
I don't love him, Father. You wouldn't want me to marry a man I don't love, would you?
No, of course not. Of course not, daughter. But you'll never meet the man of your dreams shut up here on this farm.
I love the farm.
Yeah, I know you do, June. You love it as I do, deep down inside. Something you can't talk about. Your mother was the same. All our family's the same. Back in Norway, they were farmers and fishermen. Generation after generation. But you need a man, June.
I'll find him someday, and he'll love the land like I do. And we'll have the best-paying farm in Wisconsin, and our children will grow up and go to Madison to the university and study farming. And when we get old, they'll buy more land and... Oh, listen to me. Talking about children when I don't even know a man I want to marry.
Why don't you go into town this afternoon? You've been working too hard since we're short-handed.
Think I might find my dream prince in town?
Well, you'll find him in your own good time. But don't wait too long.
I won't, Father. I'm not going into town, though. I'm going for a swim in the lake.
You're going to wear that new one-piece bathing suit. I guess I better warn them campers.
Oh, yes, you'd better, because if I catch them peeking through the trees, I'll toss them in just as I did the last time.
Oh, now, you can't blame the poor critters. I'll bet up in the city they never get a chance to see a fine-looking girl like you.
I'll cut across the back trail. See you at dinner, Dad.
All right, daughter. Have a nice swim.
So, what are you gawking at, mister?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Didn't you see that sign? No trespassing.
Well, yes, of course.
Well, go on, then. You act like you've never seen a girl before.
Well, I've never seen one like you before. Well, you look like a goddess. Spun golden hair, and you're really lovely. Do you know that?
Beat it before I throw you and your white pants in the lake.
I lie, you're belligerent. Please, would you pose for me? You must. I've searched the world for a specimen like you.
I'll give you 3 to get moving.
No, please, I'm serious. You see, I'm a painter.
1, I don't care whether you're a painter, carpenter, or what you are. 2.
Oh, now, my lovely goddess. Is that any way?
3.
Oh!
Good ducking will serve you right.
My leg. I hurt my leg.
Well, I didn't teach you not to spy on other people.
Help me out, please. I've hurt my leg.
You on the level?
Oh, yes, I can't swim.
Don't struggle now. I'll get you.
Here.
Don't grab me. Don't grab my hand. There. Be still.
Ooh.
What happened?
It's my leg. I hit the bottom. I must have struck a rock. It's quite painful.
Let me see.
Stupid thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm the one that ought to be sorry.
If you'd just send for a doctor.
The nearest doctor's 20 miles.
Well, how will I get out of here?
I'll carry you.
No, you can't do
Oh,
that.
Sure I can. I bet you don't weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. Let me see now. Hey, where are you hurt? Right here?
Oh.
I'll be darned. Pass out. If he wasn't so wet, he'd look just like my dream prince. Maybe Perry doesn't know anything about farming now, Dad, but he'll learn. He's smart.
I'm against it, June. We've always been honest with each other, so I can't say otherwise. He's an artist, whatever that means.
He loves our country, our house, the way we live. He'll make a good farmer, you'll see.
If you've got your heart set on marrying him, I suppose there's nothing I can do about it. But I wish you'd gone and fell in love with a big, strong man like Raw.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad, but we love each other. Nothing can change that.
You can't change people either. He spent his life learning how to paint pictures. He'll never want to be a farmer, even if he wanted to.
Oh, he paints pictures to make a living. And when he sees the money roll in from the farm, he won't want to waste his time painting silly pictures.
Have you talked to him about that?
No, we have so many other things to talk about, but I know how it will be. He'll do as I say because he thinks I'm the most wonderful, the wisest person in the world. Oh, now cheer up, Dad, and wish me luck.
All right, girl. That's the way it has to be. I wish you luck. More than luck. Happiness and peace.
Harry, be careful. Do you want to spill that pail of milk?
I'm sorry.
We'll make a farmer out of you yet.
It's amazing how hands that can be so skillful at one thing can be so clumsy at another. And before long, they'll acquire their new skill and lose their old.
Oh, well, you won't have much time for painting when spring comes on. Come here, let me show you something. There, honey, look out that window. See those rows of corn, how fine and straight and tall they are. Pretty soon we'll take that corn to the market. It's ours. We grew it. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Well, of course, but...
Harry, someday these acres will be ours alone. Dad's getting older, and the whole responsibility will be ours. Isn't that worth working for?
Well, of course, but you don't know what it means to give your whole life to studying to become a good artist. And then turn into a chore boy. I'm a painter.
What sort of business is that for a grown man?
Well, it was my business. And I gave it up because you wanted me to. But I can never forget it. Never.
We may as well have this out now, Perry.
I should have had it out before we were married.
I don't mind you painting for a hobby.
Hobby? It's my life, can't you understand?
Well, I could never be happy with a man who fooled his life away on a childish pastime.
Childish You can't possibly know anything but what you've been used to, the farm. I hate farming. I hate the smell of it.
I suppose you want me to do the work while you make daubs on canvas.
Well, you can hire someone, can't you?
Oh, you want to be a gentleman farmer. Well, that's the quickest way to bankruptcy I know.
That's an idea you've built up. Silly rot.
You'll have to make up your mind, Perry. You'll have to choose between your precious painting and me.
I'll never give up painting entirely. You may as well get that through your head.
Oh, excuse me. You folks talking private?
No, Dad. Come on in.
Oh, I was just going to put the milk away.
What's wrong, June?
Oh, Dad, you're right. Perry doesn't even want to be a farmer. He hates it. He said so.
Well, girl, what's done's done. Now you must take the best of it. Meet him halfway. That's all you can do.
He doesn't love me, or he'd be glad to give up his old painting.
I think you're wrong, daughter. It's just that you're two different kinds of people.
Well, he's got to choose between us. He can't do both. I want my husband to be a man, not a sissy.
That's not the way, girl. Now, that's not the way.
I don't care. I won't have a silly painter for a husband. How is she, Doc?
Well, you'll save this one. Hold that light over here a little closer. Them two heifers are as good as gone.
You did a good job, Doc. Last time I saw cows sick from overstuffing themselves, darn near the whole herd up and died.
Is there anything I can do, June?
Haven't you done enough?
Now, June, Perry didn't know the fence was busted.
If he hadn't been so busy painting, he could have seen them go into the cornfield, trample down half the corn, and gorge themselves sick.
Well, I'm sorry.
I hope you sell that picture for plenty, because it cost us about $500.
Well, I've done all I can do, Eric. Just keep up this here medicine, Junie.
I'll walk out the car with you,
I'll
Doc.
stay here to see that Perry doesn't set the barn on fire while he's daydreaming.
Good night, Junie.
Good night, Doc.
You regard me as a hired hand and treat me accordingly, don't you?
Lord, forgive me if I ever hired a hand as dumb as you. Perry? Where are you going, Perry? He's gone, Dad. Perry's gone.
I beg your pardon, but could you tell me if Mr. Perry Hurst lives hereabouts?
Right up there, Pop.
Thank you. Hello, boy.
What? Hello, Dad. What are you doing here in Chicago? How's June?
Well, June's well, son. You got a nice little place here. Nice and light. I never saw a room with a window in the ceiling before, except in the greenhouse.
June didn't answer any of my letters, Dad.
Well, she's a right prideful girl, son. Stubborn in lots of ways. But she misses you, boy. She misses you.
Yes, I miss her. More than I thought I could miss anybody.
I'm right glad to hear you say that, Perry. Because it makes what I'm going to say a heap easier.
Yes?
Well, the fact is, son, I come against June's wishes. I come to ask you to go back to her.
But unless June wants me, what's the good?
It ain't for her and you alone to decide. There's an outsider who ought to have something to say, and I'm kind of his spokesman, you might say. I figure he's given me the proxy to speak for him.
Well, I don't understand, Dad. Who are you talking about?
To tell you the truth, I don't know whether it's him or her.
Wait, you mean June? June is going to have a baby?
That's right, boy. At least if she ain't, the doctor's going to be awful surprised.
It's well to bear in mind that we don't make our destinies entirely by ourselves. Fate sometimes intervenes at the most unexpected times. Will June and Perry rise to this new obligation and take a new lease on their marriage? We shall find the answer to this question in just a moment when Part 2 of I Want a Divorce, starring Joan Blondell, continues. And now back to our radio drama starring Joan Blondell, I Want a Divorce. The time is 5 years later. Perry has given up his painting, bending to June's will. They have a son for whom both would make any sacrifice.
Keep away from there, Sonny. Old Satan's on a rampage. I declare that bull little kick that stall into kindling for long.
What makes Satan kick a stall, Grandpa?
Sakes alive, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's just naturally a contrary critter, or maybe he don't like being tied up. Come on now, while Grandpa feeds the rest of the stock.
The other cows don't kick their stalls, do they, Grandpa?
No, they don't. But Satan ain't rightly a cow, son. He's a bull.
Are cows better than bulls?
Well, opinions kind of divided on that subject. Some say yes and some say no. But according to my way of thinking, they each serve their purpose. But that's a subject we'll go into at length some other time. You better come on in the house now and get washed up for dinner. Your father will be home from town pretty soon.
There's Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Well, there's my boy.
What'd you bring me from town, Daddy?
Oh, now what makes you think I brought you anything, huh?
You said you were going to. What's in the package, Daddy?
Oh, just something you wouldn't be interested in. Some feed for the chickens, I think.
Oh, it isn't?
Well, then maybe some tomato seeds to plant, huh?
No.
Well, come along to the house and we'll see after dinner.
It's something for me.
That you, Perry?
Oh, hello there.
Dinner's ready.
Daddy brought me a present.
Oh, you must be mistaken. There's nothing in that package but garden tools.
You said it was chicken feed.
Oh, did I?
Sit down, honey, now. Your hands clean?
Yes, ma'am.
Come to dinner, Dad.
All right.
Let's see those hands. Up you go, young man, and wash them. Run along now.
Okay, I will, Mother, but they're pretty clean.
See anybody in town, Perry?
Oh, I saw the Filburns. They inquired about you.
Boy,
And
look. It was for me. Look, Mother. Look, Grandpa. The package was for me.
Where'd you get that?
Daddy brought it for me. It's an easel, just like his. Like the one upstairs. Now I can paint just like a real painter.
Put that down and eat your dinner. Perry, you deliberately disregarded my wish. My son is not going to be a farmer.
nothing you can do or say will prevent me teaching Jan to become an artist, June. If he wants to be, nothing is going to stop him. Nothing.
I'll stop him.
No, you won't, June. You've taken my life and done with it as you would, but I'm not a farmer, and I never can be one. I was weak. I loved you enough to give up my life ambition to keep peace with you. But Jan won't give up his life. I'll see to that.
How can you tell whether he's fitted to become an artist or not?
I'm simply saying if he shows promise as he grows older and wants to be an artist, he shall have the opportunity.
All right. You can teach him to grow into an incompetent kind of a man that you are. Then I suppose you'll be happy. Ruin his life and mine, too. There'll be no one here to run things. No one.
I'm sorry. Done the best I could. I worked barehanded on this farm till my hands couldn't even hold a brush. Oh, I'll never paint again. But I won't mind if Jan...
My son is not going to be an artist. I won't allow it.
June, if you'd only try to understand. An artist is one who can make a picture of the things he sees and feels so that others can feel them, too. It's this urge that makes them willing to struggle, starve if necessary, even when there's no sale for their pictures.
And that's the kind of a life you want for Jan, when he could have security.
Oh, I don't expect you to understand. You never did. Well, you've had your way about everything else, but don't interfere with the teaching I intend to give him. I warn you.
Say, the little fellow's getting so he can draw right good. Now, look at this now. Perry's sure teaching fine.
A lot of good it'll do him.
Now, daughter, I don't want to meddle in, but if I was you, I wouldn't take that attitude. You can't have your own way all the time. Folks will be what they will in spite of anything. Now, where in tarnation did I put that muffler you gave me last Christmas, the red one?
Little Jan has it on. He couldn't find his, so I made him put yours on.
Where's Perry?
He's in the barn milking, isn't he? Why?
Nothing. I didn't see John when I came by the chicken yard, and I was thinking he oughtn't to go into the barn anywhere around Satan with that muffler.
Satan? But I told him to keep away from his stall.
Probably he will. Now, don't go getting scared.
I'd better go after him. Come on, Father. You go by the feed barn.
All right, but don't go getting all het up.
Think of that red muffler. Jan? Jan? That's Jan. Where is he? Jan! Jan, where are you?
June, get to the house and call a doctor.
What's happened?
I'll get the doc.
Oh, Jan. Jan.
I'll carry him. You open the door. Satan broke right out of the stall. The red scarf. It caught him right in the back.
Oh, no. Not broken. He isn't. Oh, Jan! Jan, baby! I'd rather he'd have died. Never to be able to walk or run like other boys. What's life to a boy that can't do those
June,
things?
don't say that.
Oh, that's true.
The doctor said there was a chance, a small one, but still a chance. And don't forget, he can still use his hands. He sees with the eyes of an artist. I haven't told you because I knew how you hated it, but he has a great talent.
Go on, say what you're thinking. It's my fault. I realize it. I did this to him because I was blind. I tried to make my husband and my son into what I wanted. Now I'm being punished. If he hadn't been on a farm, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh, no, dear. Don't blame yourself. June, I'll teach him. I can't paint anymore, but I can teach Jan. Loving beauty will help make up to him a great deal that he'll lose, and you must help, too.
Oh, I will, Perry. I'll do anything you say. Oh, my little boy. Jan. Why did this have to happen to you? Why?
Grandfather?
I was just brushing a fly away from my nose.
I can't paint you good if you move.
Well, this is the first time I had my picture painted, so you'll have to make allowances. Ain't you about ready to stop for lunch, son?
Now, you give Grandpa a break, Jan. He'll be stiff as a board if you don't let him move around once in a while.
No, I'm all right. You go right ahead, Jan.
All right, but you better put it away for a while. Mother has lunch almost ready.
How's he doing with the picture of Dad?
Oh, wonderful. I knew his landscapes were good, but it's almost unbelievable that his portraiture is almost as good.
Do you think he's strong enough to go to the academy in Chicago for the summer?
He seems to be. Oh, think of it, June. Our Jan's work has already been exhibited in the Museum of Art. Why, he's a genius.
Oh, and you've done it all. What patience. The hours you spent showing him what to do and what not to do.
No, I couldn't have done it if he hadn't had the natural aptitude.
Harry, I'm so grateful to you. These months would have been almost more than I could have borne if it hadn't been for you and what you've done for Jan.
It's done something else, too. I wonder if you realize.
What?
It's brought us closer together than we ever have been.
Yes, I know. I can't put into words, but I think I begin to feel a little of what you meant when you talked of beauty in nature. It's a little like the love I feel for the farm.
That's it. It's what I feel for all things beautiful in nature.
You've made Jan see, just as you've made me see. I listened when you talked in a low voice to him of the long shadows on the water and a crimson cloud like a veil, so he could put them on canvas for the whole world to see.
So that millions of dreary shop workers who never see the hills or the rivers can look at it and feel a lift in their hearts.
I wonder who that is. Maybe the man from the Harvester Company.
Oh, what's that you say? Oh, hold on. Yeah, I say hold on a minute. Hey? You say what? Can't understand you very well. Oh, long distance. Chicago, you say?
You and I both sit here knowing what that call is and being afraid to answer.
I think it's from the doctor in Chicago with reports on Jan's last X-ray.
Yes, I'm afraid to answer it. I can't speak.
All right, son. Long distance. Dr. Winters in Chicago. You, Perry. Man's on the phone. Come answer.
Yes, Dad. Yes, I'll answer it. I mustn't. We mustn't get our hopes up.
No, of course not. The other doctors have said there was no hope of Jan's ever walking again. Do you want me to answer?
Oh, yes, please.
Hello? Yes, this is Perry Hurst. Oh, hello. Yes, Dr. Winter. I see. Yes, if you think it advisable, of course. Yes? Well, any time. At once. We could leave this afternoon. Yes, I'll wire you. Thank you, Doctor. Goodbye.
That was the doc.
Dad, why don't you take Jan out on the porch and get a little fresh air? Huh?
Oh, sure. Come along, Sonny. I'll get your chair.
Will you promise to sit still after dinner so I can finish your picture?
Why, surest thing you know. Come along now. We'll just go out on the porch and breathe in a breath of fresh air.
Well, Perry.
He said he thought I ought to bring Jan back to Chicago.
Yes, and what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know for sure, but... Oh, June, we've been through the agony of false hope so often. We mustn't again.
No, we mustn't. But what did he say?
He said that the X-ray showed something that none of the others have before.
Yes. Go on.
And that it might mean their diagnosis had been wrong. And that the right kind of an operation would enable him to walk again.
Oh, if they only aren't mistaken this time. Dear God, let it be true, please. Let it be true.
I'll go get my things ready. We may be able to catch the 5:20. Now, June, darling, remember, don't let your hope get too high.
No, I won't. We'll still have much to be grateful for, even if the doctor is mistaken.
A great deal.
Our love and because Jan was spared to us.
ends tonight's I Want a Divorce play, emphasizing the fact that it sometimes takes tragedy to awaken us to a true perspective on our lives. In just a moment, Cal York will bring Miss Blondell back to the microphone. Now here is Cal York, Hollywood correspondent of Photoplay Movie Mirror magazine, with Joan Blondell.
Well, Joan, next week your husband, Dick Powell, will be with us starring opposite you.
That's right, Cal. We're doing an amusing story of a girl who had too much family for the good of her marriage. It's all about the efforts of the young couple to combat with the blunderings of her crackpot relatives.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, and good night.
Good night.
In tonight's I Want a Divorce play, written for radio by Van Fleming, Joan Blondell was assisted by Monty Moan, Earl Ross, and Conrad Binion. Music was under the direction of David Rhodes. All names mentioned in tonight's play are fictitious, and any similarity to actual persons is purely coincidental. Joan Blondell is soon to appear with Dick Powell in the Universal picture Model Wife. Herb Allen speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Well, that's the way it was on April 4th, 1941. I'm Henry Chop, your host. You know, those last three programs, it's kind of neat to have three consecutive programs airing in the order that they would have aired back in 1941, although on different networks. And I wonder how many people would have tuned the dial to listen to all three of those programs. I'm sure at least one person back in 1941 did, although I'm guessing, at least in my point of view, people might have been less inclined to, without a remote back then. You didn't have a remote except for your kid. Hey, Junior, get up there and change. I'm done listening to information, please. Go up there and put on Gangbusters. And I'm guessing that a lot of people did not tune the dial as often as we do today. Well, heck, we might not even tune the dial as much today. If you have a DVR, you probably just record it and watch it at a later date. That way you could skip all the commercials, right? Back in 1941, you did not have all the options that we have today. So I'm guessing many times when you started out on a network, you listened to it for at least an hour before changing. So, and also those three programs were designed for significantly different audiences for sure. Information Please and Gangbusters really are two opposite ends of the spectrum, and I Want a Divorce might have been more, they were more romantic dramas, I guess, and that definitely was not in the same vein as Gangbusters, for sure. It was designed for a different audience. So anyway, we had some great stuff. I will tell you what we have coming up. By the way, my name's Henry Chop. I'm your host and producer and everything else really for this channel. It's just some great stuff. But I will tell you what we have coming up tomorrow night in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content on this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage old-time radio, films, and music that we feature, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to keep posting this wonderful content and seeking out more. We'd like to think that this channel is more interesting than any other nostalgia channel of a similar type. Help us keep going by donating. In the description section of this video, you will find a secure link to PayPal. Any little bit helps. Thank you for your support. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there, you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. Well, tomorrow night is Saturday, April 5th. And one thing we do on Saturdays, and I have not went around and looked for these yet, we do feature movies. So I'm going to try to find a double feature for you that we have not featured yet to watch tomorrow night after we're done listening to the old-time radio programs. Now, as far as the old-time radio shows go, we're going to start things off with the news of the world. Then we have Jungle Jim, front page drama, Edgar A. Guest, and then we have a news bulletin, a 10-minute news bulletin. So something big is going to be happening. You're going to have to stay tuned and find out. And then we're going to have the Hit Parade Jukebox and, of course, hopefully a movie or two. So some great stuff. So definitely come back again tomorrow night. Until then, like I said, I'm Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.